Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fuwacast. I know it has been quite a while since we had an episode, but I wanted to make sure that the first month of Full Boost, went smoothly and everyone got their thoughts and recollections together of what they think of this console port. In this episode of the Fuwacast, we'll be giving our thoughts on the console port of Gundam Extreme vs. Full Boost from various perspectives. We'll also be holding a discussion over the new units, including DLC, along with the FAQ session. So, for our participants in this episode, I'll be your host, Kirin, as always. Unfortunately, absent today is Robin, my co-host. General logistics and time zone differences. It was just hard to schedule this, and it didn't really work out for him. But for our guest today, we have Airmaster.
Yep.
And we have Taco, also known as Weeaboo Mode, who is the host on the Beginner Night Lobbies.
Hello.
So, just in general, now that we're just about a month into Full Boost releasing on consoles, just initial thoughts on when you guys first booted it up. Just general thoughts. Airmaster, we'll start with you.
Well, general thoughts. Well, the intro video, I'm probably the only guy who likes that song, so I kind of listened through it. And then there was the menu, which is a huge improvement over vanilla, in my opinion, mainly because when you bring up the XMB, it doesn't lag the console to hell. That's always a good thing. And the only thing that took time to get used to was basically the Japanese in the sub menus, because in vanilla there was always like the English, there was always something in English on top or something, right? In that version, or there was only Japanese, no English except for the main menu. So that took a while getting used to, but after a month, like everything pretty well, even after a day, everything pretty much fell into place for me, and that I just played along.
Yeah, I remember in vanilla, like even though the menus are Japanese, like the little circular thing icon around those that had like the text in English like rotating around or like in a circular formation, if I remember correctly. And it was like just
Yeah.
really it was really hard to see at times.
Yeah, but that helped a lot, especially with new like people that aren't used to import games,
Hmm.
like 90% of the
Yeah.
people. That really helped a lot of like just to get around the menus and whatnot, and that's something that full boost is going to take like for those unused to imports and whatnot, it's going to take a while for them to get used to this.
Yeah, thankfully, just within the first 24 hours of Full Boost releasing, someone was kind enough to even do a translation of it. That was really surprising to me how fast a translation came out for it. So I took it upon myself to, make sure to integrate that translation into a proper menu walkthrough, which is also available in this channel if people haven't seen it yet. I'll provide a link to that in the description if people need it. But we'll move on to Taco's impressions of Full Boost because I know this is like one of the very first proper Gundam games that he's actually, playing a lot now.
Yeah, my old experience with Gundam Wing Endless Duel doesn't really apply here.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, over the month, I've seen a huge improvement in how I'm playing. With the last week or so of Extreme Versus before Full Boost came out, I basically tweeted that I had two states in the game, boosting and knockdown, and I'm thankfully able to say that I'm no longer just boosting or knockdown anymore.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah, but
Uh,
definitely.
the navigating the menus wasn't really a problem for me because I've learned pretty early on when playing imported games that just knowing the kana makes a huge difference since like 99% of the menus are in katakana. So that really wasn't that big of a deal. Plus, the only menus that I really go to are like player match, free battle, and BGM change.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Although there's one thing in Full Boost that I'm kind of missing, and I understand why they made the change, and that's in the online lobbies when you're choosing your mech, you just do it through the menu. You don't go to any other screen, and I kind of miss the whole arcade feel of going to the real the real mech select screen and going through that.
Oh yeah, I missed the BGM actually in the characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like the mech select BGM.
Yeah, it just feels weird. Like you do lose a certain aspect. Like you don't. It's weird how people interpret that in their minds. Like it's like when they go into a match, it's like, whoa, I'm in a match. It's like no, like like your traditional arcade. Like okay, yeah, I'm getting pumped. Look, I'm scrolling through all these units. Like I see their big ass portraits, going on the screen as I'm just like trying to scroll for it. It's really. I can understand why, like you said, but it just there's a certain thing that I miss about it too, in that respect.
It's a quality of life improvement, but it's just sort of a personal pet peeve.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's also funny to see that's one of the very first things that people have to learn is press triangle first before entering a game to pick your unit.
Yeah, that first week there are a lot of people accidentally playing RX-78.
I'm guilty of that too.
I think we all were, to be honest. I cannot think of like there's maybe only a very select handful of people that like were able to get that down in their heads like in the first 24 to 48 hours of like, oh okay, triangle first always.
I ended up picking up RX-78, so it all worked out in the end.
Oh yeah, you don't have to go any mech select now.
Yep. So thankfully, that's a big improvement. But just overall, the new UI in game, like it's different, but I feel like it feels cleaner, in my opinion. It feels more realized, I guess.
During the matches?
Yeah, during matches, like it's the default layout, not even the gauge skins, but the DLC gauge skins. But I mean, just like how they present like the quantities and just I don't know. It just seems a lot more refined, I guess. That's just me though.
I have to be honest, I did not pay attention to that.
It's all right. It's just me, personally.
Yeah,
How about-
I'm in the same boat. I didn't play enough Extreme Versus to really take in the UI that much.
I played a lot of Extreme Versus, but I did not pay attention to the UI that much.
I think maybe I'm like one of the few people who actually pay attention to UIs.
Well, maybe not, but I remember even like when they brought in Z Gundam and the full boost units, and they showed the first previews, the PVs for it, right?
Hmm.
And everyone was like, "Oh, that's the vanilla UI." Like it took me like a full minute to actually realize that they were different. That's how bad it was.
I also like the new sleek look of the lobbies. That's one of the big things that I really like in this game over the original because of course, in this version, the lobbies can now support 12 people opposed to 8, and like the way they organized it was so smart. Like you'd think it looked cluttered, but it's not actually. It actually feels clean in that respect.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of new lobbies actually. The old ones, I'm not sure I could go back, to be honest. They were quite weird. Well, not compared to the new ones. Like, I'm sure if I went back, I'd be like weirded out a bit, but the new ones are really nice. And like how everything is integrated to them, that's really cool too.
What do you think, Taco? How do you feel about like just the way they present the lobbies this time around? Just when you first enter a lobby, it's like whoa, there's a lot of people. It feels overwhelming. Or it's like oh sweet, there's like a full lobby going on.
Yeah, it's pretty clear. I mean, you have the people in the mech that they're choosing. It's concise, and there's really not a lot of questioning there. There was one thing that sort of changed between Extreme Versus and Full Boost, and it's in a lobby when you're joining a game that's in progress.
Hmm.
If you catch one that's in like, or if someone catches you right when you're starting like the shuffle process in a shuffle lobby, in Extreme Versus it won't actually throw you into the game. It'll throw you back to the cards and the shuffle thing. But in Full Boost it throws you into the game and then you go back out of the game and it has to go through the whole process again.
I actually don't remember that, but that's actually a really neat find there. I actually never paid attention to that.
Yeah, I keep waiting for it to happen. Like I see someone's joining the match as soon as I hit confirm. And I'm like, okay, is it just going to go back to the cards? And then no, it loads all the way back in, then it goes all the way back out. But as far as the information being presented in the lobbies, I think it's pretty clear. Sometimes the net play or the connection quality things aren't really telling the truth, but that's a different matter.
Yeah, we'll get into
Yeah.
that in a bit for sure. Another really neat thing I like just in presentation wise now, like when you said go back to the cards, whether it's like shuffle or hold, I like that it doesn't show like their win, like their total matches and how many wins they got out of their total matches. So it's not like you feel super discouraged about what partner you have this time around. In vanilla, it kind of seemed like it's like, oh man, I got this partner, because you saw their win loss ratio essentially on their card.
Oh, they
Now,
removed that?
Huh?
They removed that?
In the when when they first show the cards before a match starts, like
Hmm.
the only time you can ever see that is like if you actually view the cards inside like the menu lobby, the online menu lobby, when you actually pull up the list of people inside the room. That's the only time you ever get to see it. But when you're actually booting up, how it first presented you all the people, it actually show you their win loss ratio, in that before pairing you off.
Yeah, yeah, I remember that, but okay, so they removed that. Okay,
They
that's
yeah
cool.
they removed that. They just kept it to like the pilot cards themselves, where you can just like manually look it up on the number of people or the list of people in the lobby.
Oh, that's cool.
So I feel like that's because I feel like it's a weird mental process sometimes in these games. It's like like the state of morale essentially. It's like people can get really down for no reason before a match starts
Yeah,
because of that.
well, yeah, I mean, if you start up a match and you see that the person that you're going up against has like 3,000 games and they've won like 2,500 of them, it's kind of
Yeah,
discouraging from the
yeah,
outset.
yeah.
definitely. We'll get back into the UI thing a little bit later, just more in design, but it's gonna be integrated to other topics later. So the next thing I wanna get into, because there's definitely a big change of the game, is just the general pace of the game, like compared to the vanilla. And I feel like it's definitely a more deliberate pace. Like it's still the same speed as vanilla, but it seems less chaotic than before.
Yeah, it's like I remember when I first started playing full boost, everything seems smoother. Only if it's just me, but the whole like movement, everything just felt smoother than in vanilla, right?
Well, not necessarily like smoother, I guess, in vanilla, but I mean, because like it was like the first time we're actually getting an extreme game, like from Japan over here, so I guess that might have factored into the process. But I feel like it's like less about boosting as fast as you can and more like thinking about, okay, this is where I'm gonna land this. Like you actually have a route in your mind. You're thinking of like in vanilla, you're just kind of like doing something just to gain meter. Because the whole thing in vanilla was just like getting to that half meter and then activating it just to kill off someone or gain
Yeah,
complete control of a situation.
yeah, or like waiting till you get full to just burst out.
Yeah. Well, you never really needed to burst out in it, vanilla, because the general strategy, the most preferred strategy, was just doing a half burst in vanilla to get a full boost back.
Yeah,
Yeah. So that was really lopsided. So usually people didn't wait for full boost in vanilla because they figure, why would I do that when I can get two bursts in one match, 2 to 3 bursts
true.
in one match.
Yeah.
How about you, Taco? Like when you first picked up full boost compared to vanilla, like you were really weirded out by the movement at first.
Yeah, one thing I noticed was because at the time, at the end of Extreme Versus, I was messing around with God Gundam and how ground boosting works between vanilla and full boost. It seemed like there was a delay in when you actually started recovering boosts. Like you would slide to a halt, and then at the point where you stopped, you would start recovering boost, excuse me. And that really, well, it really made me stop just boosting all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so now I really had to think about, where I was boosting, where I was stopping, where I could fit in places to recover boost. And that actually translated really well to non-ground based suits as well. So I think that change was a really good one.
Yeah, the landing recovery nerf, because you do recover boost slower in this game than in vanilla. Uh, it's just like it makes you think, uh, where you should land, and not only that, but you have to, it makes you think about also like after I land, where do I boost next so I can get some attacks in before I land. And I think that's a really nice part of the strategy because the overall guidance nerfs in these games were like how shots like kind of swerve to you. Like since you'll still get hit by stray shots, but not as much as vanilla. So I feel like letting you have a little bit of breathing room to plan that out now really works in this game's favor in terms of just like tactical planning and general strategy instead of just like trying to mash it out
Yeah.
less. So the big thing that everyone has had a decent understanding now after a month is the burst systems, both assault and blast. How do you guys feel about them splitting up the burst now compared to vanilla?
Well, it kind of takes me back to the older games where
Hmm.
the burst was also separated. In the C game, there was rush, speed, and some other thing, and then in Zeta game there was also there was like this three burst system thing, activate thing system. Uh, so it kind of takes me back to those days, and basically it depends on you that I'm true. Like it makes like it basically makes you play almost unit differently depending on the burst you choose, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it, and I feel it's a good addition. And from what I heard, they're going back to the vanilla burst in Maxi Boost, I think, right? That's what I heard.
Yeah. They have they're taking out the two burst system now in Maxi Boost, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later when we get to our mini Maxi Boost discussion. Um, but for right now, we'll concentrate on the two bursts, and then we'll definitely dive back into the Maxi Boost changes at a later time in this episode.
Okay, so yeah, that's how like it make the like I said, it takes me back to older games that I used to play, and that's always a good thing. So yeah, I like the new system, and yeah, basically that's pretty much it.
How about you, Taco?
That's sort of a layer of strategy that I'm not really at yet in terms of
Hmm.
my own personal play.
Okay.
I really like that there's the opportunity there for either for a burst to make up for a suit's shortcomings, or maybe just play more to the style of play that you're looking to achieve when you're playing either a more aggressive or more defensive style. So
Okay.
having the options there is really cool. It's just not something I've really dabbled in yet. I
Right.
mainly just stick with assault.
Right. Yeah, I really dig the new burst system because it encourages multiple playstyles of the same suit. Like there are some suits that you definitely can play both aggressively and defensively, and there's also the added benefit of blast lasting longer. So suits that have quirks along with their meter activation, whether it's Transam or the golden mode for the G Gundam fighters or etc. Seed mode. I think that adds just another layer of strategy that like is tailored to how a person wants to play their suit, like what they want to achieve uh, when they activate their burst, like what kind of situation they want to create. Like if you notice replays of like suits in the download replay section and how people play a suit in assault versus blast, it's like you can actually see like it's a noticeable difference how they play when they activate that burst. You'll see assault going way more in there while blast is just really playing that neutral game very solidly. So I really dig that. Uh, I hope to see, especially in SCR in a week, um, how people will play suits that aren't really tailored to like burst. So like I want to see like people who play like a Gunner Zaku in Assault and see what kind of playstyle they have, for example. And
Gunner Zaku Assault sounds hella weird.
I know, right? But I want people to like create this stuff and just see what kind of crazy stuff they can do that people would never think up of. That's just my wish, anyway.
In tournament setting, I think they'll probably stick to the basics, like for the boosting, for the burst thing. Yeah, sorry. They'll probably just stick to the basics, like some units, this unit like is better with assault, or this unit is better with burst. So I don't think you'll be seeing a lot of that. Although some people probably will be breaking the mold,
Yeah,
but for the majority, I think they'll be sticking to what works.
I want people to break the mold. I want people to like, I don't know. It's like picking like Phoenix Wright in Marvel, you know?
Or if
Yeah.
I could draw a comparison to Capcom versus SNK2 with all the different groove systems,
There we go.
that was a really cool system too. So just having the opportunity there really adds, if not depth, a lot of creativity to the game.
Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Also, what I like seeing now in this game, opposed to the vanilla, is a lot of more people are using their EX burst attacks with this game, and I
It's because
really
everyone has
don't.
them.
Yeah, because everyone has them now, but it's just it's funny seeing them and actually them connecting because a handful of them are actually really useful now, and even in like competitive play, you'll see it quite not a lot, but commonly used for some suits because of
Uh,
how they um, their properties. Because a lot like a handful of suits that like have an EX burst attack that's initially initiated by melee, like actually has super armor on approaching them. So they take advantage of that if they're like in that situation and they know their opponent is like in a really low boost or overheat situation, and like flipping the tables around essentially.
yeah, I remember like the first 2 weeks of full boost on Brett's stream. Every time I play, like I always try to do a super, and if I missed, I go in the chat and type, "Oh, my super Bible thump," and like I just always do it, and like sometimes it works, sometimes it like half the time it wouldn't, but it was always just trying to do it. And even now, when I play Victory now, and its burst attack is so much fun.
What's its burst attack again? I forgot.
Basically, he separates into a core fighter, top and bottom, and he shoots the parts at you
Oh,
non-stop.
oh my god, that
So
sounds hilarious. Yeah, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
it's the best ever.
I like gold sumos because it means that I can universe twice.
Oh god. The first time I got hit by that, I didn't understand what was going on until I heard universe again. I was like, oh, that's it. Oh my god.
Yeah, there's just crazy things going on with the burst. Like, I sometimes I never even know like if a burst is coming at me, so I don't know if they have super armor on or not on approach because there's so many EX burst attacks that like I haven't seen in the game. So it's
Oh
just
yeah.
unfamiliarity too. Like I'll sometimes get hit with an EX burst because I didn't know that was like that move.
Yeah, especially like just like now everyone has one, like
Hmm.
Taco said. So and there's like over 100 suits. So sometimes you don't know what's coming at you.
Yeah, yeah. Um, the next big thing about this game is just how the movement options in this game has definitely expanded and are like not expanded, but a lot more of them are viable now. Like in vanilla, all you saw really was boost hopping, which is basically doing that hop after a boost that you can if you held the direction that you were going in, you'd travel farther. If you're going holding the opposite direction, you'd travel shorter. And that's all you really saw in vanilla in terms of movement from people. But now in this game, you see a lot of uses. Not always, but in situations like people might do a Fuwa step. Um, a lot of people actually are making use of stepping to evade shots now, unlike vanilla. What's your thoughts on those, Airmaster? Because I know you're familiar with just how movement is.
Well, I always stepped, even back in the vanilla, because that was back in the day. It was like the only option you had, so it's still stuck in muscle memory for some reason. But in this game, stepping is a lot more useful this time around than it was in vanilla. And Fua, like I remember day one of full boost on Brett's stream, we were like playing randomly, and you do a Fua, and then like that actually saved his ass, and he was like, oh, Fua the god. Like that in vanilla, he would have just gotten hit, and like that would have been the end of it. But in this game, with all the tracking reduction on the projectiles and everything, so yeah, that like you have a lot more options, and that's like a really great thing in my opinion because like only boost hopping gets boring after the
Yeah,
10,000th time you do it. So
I hear you. I hear you. The, and then going into this from like a beginner's perspective, Taco, how do you feel about just like having a range of options? I know you're not super familiar with everything yet in the movement, but just in general, how do you feel about your movement now compared to when you first started?
So which one is the term when, let's say, you do a boost hop and then you just do like a double tap of a direction and not boost? What term is that? Is it like a step?
Yeah, when you just double tap and hold it, like, and you just see it sliding sideways slowly, it's a step.
All right, I've been
Yeah.
using that lately, and it has been saving my butt.
yes,
Yeah. Yes.
It's like I see a shot coming, and I'm like, nope, not hitting me. It's real
Nice.
great.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about it because it's like it's baby steps, but like it's noticeable. Like it feels rewarding when like you finally get it down. It's like, okay, I understand why this is used.
Yeah, and basically, unless you're overheating like I used to do all the time, you really feel that you have just an insane degree of control over your suit in the game. There's very little times where you want it to do something and you can't do that.
Hmm.
And I guess it just comes down to knowing all your options, which still don't know yet, but I'm getting there.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's just a plethora of things to learn about this game because there's so many characters and so many things they can do against so many, like, like how things react to something.
yeah,
So there's still gonna be it's still a long road for everyone to really wrap their heads around everything in this game because we haven't had as much time. But in good time, I think people will start warming up to what kind of things they can do against certain suits and how their favorite suits, move against them. But since we're talking about evading shots and because a lot of straight shots not really hitting you as much as in vanilla because of the guidance nerfs now, uh, more than ever it's important to guide your shots, like shooting something and making sure it hits them. So like you're like at the border of your red lock range and you shoot a shot and you see it follow through. I think it's important more than ever to actually maximize each hit, like getting the most damage out of each hit now, because who knows when you're gonna hit that person again. So either following it up with more beam rifle shots, which is called a Zunda, or using your other tools to follow them up to maximize damage. I think that's so crucial now compared to vanilla. How do you guys feel about creating those situations in trying to land those shots? Because sometimes it's difficult, especially against experienced players, to get a good shot in. Air, we'll start with you.
yeah. It's a lot harder now, and it's like especially against the the more experienced players to actually get a hit in with your beam rifle or shots. I remember in vanilla the number of times that like I used to play X2 back then, and the red lock was way longer, and like I'd shoot a random shot and it just fall down on them when they were landing, and then I get the kill that way. That doesn't work anymore. So like now it's really about pretty much just uh, when you see the hit, like you just go for Zunda or just do a straight cancel to your sub and hope for the best at this point. And that's really something compared to vanilla, where in vanilla, like you could tell in advance when the hit was going to hit, right? In this game, it's not as obvious anymore,
Mm-hmm.
so you have to work for it now. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I think.
And how do you feel about that, Taco? Because it, it it's weird, like, yeah, because I know it's such a weird but troubling concept. Like try to get those hits in, and then and then it's like, oh crap, I hit them. I better follow it up with something. Like I know it's a really difficult concept for beginners to like really get down.
It really plays to my weaknesses of being unable to hit confirm anything in any other fighting game.
Yeah.
So, and it's really something that you just have to get used to the pacing of the game. And coming into it from other fighting games where you're throwing hits out all the time, you're getting bits of damage here and there. This it's like two or three good volleys and you got to kill. So it really encourages much more patient play. That's really tough for people coming in early from other games, but once you grasp it, it's like, yeah, you're not going to be hitting every shot. You're going to be missing the majority of your shots. You just have to know, when you have to pretty much believe when a shot's going to hit.
I think that's
Yeah.
actually the best way to put it.
Pretty much.
I mean, if you fire one and you wait for it to hit, chances are they'll recover before your next beam rifle. So, I mean, at least two, then you can have enough chance to, see, oh, the first one hit.
Mm-hmm.
That's actually what I do with RX-78 is usually if I get the first two beam rifle hits, I'm usually out of or falling from a boost by then, but his AB launcher, you can fire that while you're falling. So I found that that's a pretty good follow-up. So if I can confirm the first two hits, I can then hit him with the AB. And it works out pretty well. I've been pretty satisfied with the results.
I think the best advice I can give fairly new players to like hoping for a shot to land. It's less about hope and more about uh, inspecting how your target is moving, because a lot of shots will hit if they're just moving up and down from you instead of side to side. So if you see them like lock onto your partner and they're moving side to side to that partner but moving up and down for you, chances are your shots are going to connect. So that's a really good time to really start up, maximizing damage, taking a brief a chance of that brief window of opportunity.
Right, angling is definitely something that I still need to work on, so I get those kind of opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I think that's how most people do get hit, because they didn't factor in to their position of the other person off screen, which is really tough. I mean, that's something that's such a weird concept to think of, like in like a fighting game.
Yeah, because in fighters it's always 1v1, right? It's not 2v2.
Yeah, I mean, because it's just like open movement. Like it's like it's a 3D fighter, but it's full 360-degree movement.
Yeah.
So just a general overview of just perspectives, because both of you come from different camps in terms of your experience with versus games. So I want to start with Taco on this. Um, what do you think, and is like the mindset of like people first beginning the game, like from a fresh start? Like, because I want to start segueing into like how to, you know, help people get into this game, because I know the barrier of entry sometimes is a bit off-putting to people. So just from your perspective, how do people think when they first get into this game, and how do you think it
Uh,
it
I'll
helped to like
speak. Sorry, go ahead.
no, like I'm just saying, yeah, I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I'm just thinking of like how to help people get it, like segue themselves into the game, get into that mindset of like, all the game's various mechanics.
Speaking from my very first experience with Gundam Extreme Versus, which was full boost in an arcade Nakihara, was what the heck am I doing? I didn't even know how to boost. I mean, the Zunda mechanic is something that isn't initially obvious. And to be frank, the game really does a pretty bad job of teaching you fundamentals.
Hmm.
So basically, I was treading water until you sat down with me in just Extreme Versus to teach me the basics of basics.
Hmm.
And I think that's gonna be a big problem for people just getting into the game.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just because you drop it, you pick you see, oh, I recognize this suit. It's from my favorite Gundam series, and you pick it and you drop in, and then you're like, okay, now what?
Yeah.
And it's just so different from pretty much any other non Gundam game that if you're just coming into it from a blank slate, you're going to be totally lost.
Yeah, I think like the only sort of quote unquote tutorial in this game is just like the first 12 missions in mission mode, and that's just like very basics, not even teaching you like Fuwa stepping, and just I don't think it even teaches Zundaing. Yeah,
It does, I think.
it does it?
I believe it does, actually. Well, but don't quote me on it, but I believe it does.
Maybe, but I do agree with Taco that it just people who want to try it out and see it from themselves, like there is, it's like it's fighters have the luxury of like having basically universal system in terms of what their inputs are. Like you have your basic punch and kick attacks for pretty much any fighter, and this game is totally a different in its own different level of that. Like you don't and just because you learn like that one button does like shooting and one does like melee is completely different like for another suit that like has like missiles as its like quote unquote melee button.
Oh,
And
yeah.
also the fact that boosting takes 2 button presses to do, which for such a basic mechanic was really weird when I first started playing it. Being the double tap C.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really until I guess pretty much my last few days of Extreme Versus that I knew. Well, I realized that there were AB and AC and stuff like that.
Yeah. And then
It's just
that's
an entirely different set of inputs. It's just such a big shift from the norm in fighting games that it's really jarring when you first start, but then it starts feeling a lot more natural once you put some time into it.
yeah. How about you, Air? Like, what are your thoughts on like people trying to get into the game from an experience perspective? Because you've been with the series for quite a while now. Just
Um, well, I've actually been teaching a lot of people how to play the game in Montreal for the past ever since Full Boost came out, actually. And the main thing I see is that people have a hard time with the boost. That's the main thing I've realized over the past month is that a lot of people, like even in Montreal community, a lot of people will walk up to me and say, "Yo, how do I manage my boost in this game?" Every time I check videos, people always have like when they land, they have a lot. They done that. They're rarely overheat, right? When
mhm.
they watch videos and they walk up to me and say, "Oh, I do the Zunda for zoning, whatever," and then I land and I'm overheat. What do I do? It's like that's really the main issue I've noticed is that people like tend to overheat a lot, and also a lot of people always wait for full burst. They
Mhm.
rarely they don't know how to use the EX as an offensive matter. And also, what I've noticed is that they don't um how do I count? Okay, they don't know how to. Oh, I forgot the word for it. Conserve ammo. Yeah, conserve ammo. That's really the main thing. Those are like the 3 big points I've noticed,
Mhm.
and also the whole movement thing. For people like most people that play the game in Montreal are like come from Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear.
Mhm.
Explain to them like, oh, you can move like you have basically unlimited movement. Like it's not like 2D plane, right?
Mhm.
Or like a 3D like in it's not like a restricted 3D like in the 3D fighters. For them, that's like a concept that's really hard to well, not hard to grasp, but really new for them.
Right.
So
Right.
it takes a lot. It takes a while for them to actually like get into that. So that's really the main issues. But over time, you just like I keep telling them, just practice. Like check the tutorials, whatnot, because there are a lot of tutorials out there right now compared to like 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So like just watch the tutorials, try to integrate that into your game, like baby steps, right? So yeah, like that's basically my advice. And some people have been getting really good. Just take I don't know if you guys know him, Raph Clans.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, like, he's one of the guys I've been teaching the basics a bit, and now he's like really he's good now, right? So Yeah,
I think he won. I'm not sure. I don't know. I think he got grand finals in like some tournament last night, as of this recording, at Saturday night. It was like
yeah,
like the Team ABC tournament or something like that. I don't know if he won it, but I know he got very far in it. If
yeah.
I
He actually won it, I think.
Okay, yeah, congratulations to him. I wasn't really keeping up with that because I was at work that night, unfortunately. But uh, I hope they upload replays of the matches.
Well, they most likely will.
Yeah, I hope, we'll see.
Man, when you were going down that list of things that new players need to improve, I'm like, yep, I do that. Yep, I do that.
Yeah.
I don't manage my ammo. I ignore the EX gauge until it plays the sound where it's full.
Yeah,
And
I used to do the same when I started EX because I kind of skipped the PSP games because they were on PSP and I was like, well, fuck that. And
Mhm.
so I went from the Seed games to the Extreme Versus, and it took me a long time to get used to it. So
another
I
big
yeah,
sorry.
no,
Another
go ahead.
big problem that I have is when I'm Zundaing, I tend to do it in one direction rather than maneuver with it, and that's something that I notice new players doing a lot too. We all just kind of, oh, I'm just gonna boost right and shoot, boost right and shoot, boost right and shoot.
Yeah, like the zigzag Zundoing is one of those things that's like it requires quite a lot of inputs in a short amount of time, and I can imagine that is definitely something that it requires like like it took me a while to get used to that too, because it's one of those important things that you need to know, especially when you're getting cornered, because because Zundoing in one direction is basically saying you will corner me right over here.
And
Yeah,
that does
basically.
happen.
Yeah,
But I think one of the I guess best ways to improve movement for like just at the very basic level is just simply practicing boosting left, right, etc. Just like and doing it diagonally too, not just side to side, but also diagonally. So it's kind of messy to like even try to list inputs of that. Which is another thing
yeah.
about this game is like it's like the way you list inputs is like it could really throw someone off at times too.
Oh well, yeah. Yeah, it's yeah.
You're like yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
Like
It's like
when
when people put like 8B, I'm like, 8? What the heck? That's jump. No, wait, no, that's forward.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's it takes a lot of time getting used to.
And then especially when you just put CC 8B, it's like what the hell is that? It's like oh you just boost dash up and then melee during that.
Pretty much. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff that like um, takes time to learn, but if people stick with it and like keep practicing, they'll get it down.
Yeah, for sure. The next thing I want to talk about in the game is just if you guys have been messing with the other modes in the game besides just online multiplayer or free battle. Like, like I know the one particular mode that sticks out to me that I tried doing one late night and I just got frustrated over it was Boss Rush, and I was like, I don't know if I ever want to do this again.
I did not try Bus Rush yet. I should actually do that.
I don't know if it's co-opable because I would really love to co-op it because Boss Rush is just it makes me cry a little inside.
Well, I think it was co-op back in the arcade. I think I saw a co-op Boss Rush on the Gundam Versus channel
Uh-huh.
way back in the day.
Mhm.
I believe it is actually. I did some online co-op arcade with one of my friends,
Mhm.
but I haven't tried Boss Rush yet. Even then, like I except online and some missions, I did not play arcade that much, which is surprising because in vanilla I actually played the shit out of arcade. So in this version I've touched arcade like 2 3 times. Well, basically when a new DLC unit comes out, I just take it out for a mission in arcade, then I like back out. That's
Yeah.
basically what I do. Yeah.
How about you, Taka? Have you fiddled with anything? I know we did one co-op arcade route a few weeks back. But did you fiddle out about with anything else besides free battle and online multiplayer?
I've done a couple arcade runs just trying out suits, but then I was just like, I'm just better off doing this in free battle. So that's pretty much what I stick to.
Yeah, I mean the other modes aren't really that great in the game compared to, especially mission mode. Mission mode is lackluster as hell in this version of the game compared to vanilla. Vanilla had a pretty good fully realized mission mode, to be honest.
Yeah, I actually played the shell mission mode in vanilla, which is something that I think I played maybe 20 missions or something in full boost so far, and I'm not really tempted to go back. So I really like, yeah, the mission mode in full boost is a disappointment, and I can see like a lot of people actually voicing their opinions on various forums about that. But at the same time, it's like uh, you kind of see. I guess you can kind of see why they didn't put so much time into it, because like if you like, there's just like from a pure 2v2 perspective, back in the older titles, playing 2v2 was almost impossible back in like the PS2 days. So my guess is that now they pretty much put all their efforts into making it the 2v2 as smooth as possible to the expense of the single player campaign.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. The thing that bugs me about mission mode this game is like, okay, so there's, I think, and offline there's like 47 available to you. 12 of them are like tutorials, but the thing that bugs me is like, okay, so they have this new like trophy or figure system, and like when you complete something, you get a figure for it, which is nice and whatever. Like it unlocks something in your gallery mode, and like if you go over it, you can actually get sound effects out of that, which is okay, whatever. But the thing is, like, you have to like pretty much play every mission 3 to 4 times in different in different difficulty modes to get them, whether it's like a new figure or a new skill too. And it's like
Yeah.
so mundane and grindy, and
Uh,
Was the
yeah.
was vanilla not like multiple plays of the same missions? I didn't really dabble with it.
No, like it was basically once you had done a mission, you were done with it. You could like go back to get a better score and whatnot, but once you had done a mission, like you didn't have to redo it again with like different difficulty. The difficulty was preset. It wasn't you couldn't change it,
Okay.
and you had like tons of missions too. So
yeah, it's also just I don't know. Just don't dig mission mode in general. It's kind of the biggest disappointment in this game. No lie.
yeah, and like I don't have the motivation to actually go back to mission one full boost. Whereas in vanilla, like if I couldn't find a room, I just go into mission mode and play some missions and try to finish them. But now it's like, oh well, there's no room. I'm just gonna like go play something else.
Or oh, there's a room all the time.
Well,
Because I
there's
look at my friends list and there's like 20 people all playing Gundam. It's like, oh, what a nice problem to have.
well, sometimes when I come back from work, there's like there's only like 5 people and they're doing other stuff. So yeah, there's not rooms all the time, but most of the time there are rooms.
Yeah, I never actually tried to find a room for arcade or mission mode co-op. I just do it with friends whenever I feel like doing them, which is rarely. So there's like a whole bunch of like new stages in this game, which I really dig. Well, most of them I like. Some of them are really annoying, and like I just want to see what you guys think are your favorite stages. We're not gonna go dabble into too much on the whole debacle, whether what's a fair stage and what's not for tournament settings, because that's really all up to it's subjective. It's really subjective, and we have a discussion for that on Dust Loop already. So I don't want to regurgitate, what they're saying there. But just in general, what are your main favorite stages first before we go into the I hate this stage? Just what do you think about the old stages and the new stages? Because every stage, because even the old stages are like a lot bigger and wider in this game compared to vanilla. This is a universal change all around. Like stages are much more open. Air, we'll start with you.
Okay. My favorite stage in this game by far is the which I'm trying to find the English name for it. Um, the Stargazer stage. I love that stage to death. It's
The Trojan Station?
yeah, that one.
Okay.
I really love that stage. I do not know why, but I really love it.
Mhm.
And like I remember when I first saw it, like in the videos, I like, wow, this stage looked actually really nice, and I played a bit in it, and I kind of like it. But and I actually like most stages in this game. Like they really added a lot of different things to it. Like, but the ones I do hate the most is Frontier One from F91. That stage is terrible, like really bad. I really hate it. And Sang Kingdom, I do not like that stage either.
Oh yeah, I hate that stage too.
Uh, I'm tempted to say that I like Neo Hong Kong because it brings me back to the Zeta days, but even back then I hated that stage, so I can't really say I like it in this version.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
um, and I'm just looking at the list again, and Site 6, I would love Site 6 if only there wasn't a huge, the huge pit. Well, it's not really a pit, right? It's the part of the stage where there's the bridge.
Uh-huh. Oh yeah, yeah, like it's
That
that's on like the nighttime stage, right?
yeah, it's like yeah, the Gundam 0080 stage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, that's if there wasn't that part of the stage, I would absolutely love it.
Yeah, I hate
But
the
that
bridge part
part,
too.
the
It
bridge
kills it.
part, just kills the stage. Yeah, it's like, and you can't destroy the bridge because well, you just can't destroy it. So, uh, another stage that I'm not too fond of is the Abawaku.
Okay. Yeah.
Like with the crashed battleships, that stage is. I played in it like a few times, and I really hope I never get to play it again. And that's pretty much it. Although in this version they made I don't know if in vanilla Extreme Universe was playable online,
Mhm.
but in this version actually is. And
Extreme.
yeah, Extreme Universe.
Oh my god, I hate that stage so much. So
and
much.
and it's funny because we had like a meetup on last Tuesdays for Gundam at Montreal, and I actually set that stage as the default one for a long time.
Oh my god. You're terrible.
And because it was on random at first, and like Rafkin just came up to me and said, "Yo, like you should put like a stage, like you should set one." I'm like, "Okay, I'll
Okay.
do that just for you." And I put Extreme Universe,
Oh my god.
and
Nice.
you just wanted to kill me for the next hours. So it was actually very funny.
Uh,
But yeah, I like a lot of the new stages, except the ones I mentioned, and yeah. Oh, and they changed the Endless Wall stage. The one with the statue in the middle that was
Brussels?
yeah, Brussels. That stage was really horrible back in vanilla, and I am so glad that they changed it a lot in this version.
Yeah, yeah, like there's like a whole section there's like it's like totally flat now, right? I believe.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah,
like in the old version there were like buildings everywhere. There was you had the Alley of Doom. If you were stuck in there, you were
oh my
pretty much
gosh.
dead.
Yeah,
Uh,
I remember that.
and that stage, I remember playing a few times. Every time like I see that stage come up, my friends and I were like, "Oh my god, like this is not going to end well for anyone," and it really did. So, um, yeah, the stages in this version are a lot more fair, I believe. Even the old ones that were really bad, like Bruxelles, got changed. Although some didn't get changed, like Colony Laser. That's the prime example of a stage that should be changed a lot.
Yeah.
And also the turning stage, I know it's quite people don't really like it because of the cliff.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like, because if you land on the cliff, you're basically not really landing. You're still falling. It's really weird. But the rest of the stages, I really like.
Okay. All right. How about you, Taco?
I actually can't name any stage, so I'm gonna go by description here.
No, I put it in the Skype chat. I put an image your link and then just put that with Google Translate and I'll translate all the stages.
Okay.
But while you're doing that, I guess I'll name mine. Um, Side 7 is still amazing, even after playing like tens of thousands of matches on it.
Yeah.
But I think that's just one thing that I'm always gonna like in this game. But in terms of new stages, Africa Tower I do like. I think the only concern I have for that is like the little part of it where you have to actually climb up. Like it's not like a slope. It's actually something you have to climb up with the suit. That's the only bad part about it. But overall, I like it a lot. I don't think it's a new. No, it's not new. Africa Tower isn't new.
No, it wasn't vanilla.
It wasn't vanilla, but it does feel less constrictive now.
Mm-hmm.
I never was a big fan of Pillbox Face. I hate Rebirth.
Oh,
Rebirth is
okay.
yeah, Rebirth is just too much elevation changes, and if you're at that little bottom pit at it, you're just have fun, I guess.
Yeah, that stage is yeah, I always forget about it because I try to, but it's actually really bad.
Yeah. Moon is when the battles aren't by that little pyramid, when at like the top of it, I'm fine with it. Stonehenge can be kind of iffy, but Moon in general, I like as long as it's not too centered around that pyramid. African Desert has always been a favorite of mine too from vanilla. In terms
Actually,
of wait, go.
yeah, actually, if you look in an African desert, if you look at the silos, it actually says thanks for playing.
Oh really? No way.
Yeah,
Oh,
it
that's
does.
hilarious. That's awesome. I didn't even know. Let's see
All right.
what. Wasn't no Industrial 7 wasn't a new stage either. I also but I don't like Industrial 7 in general because of the little mini bridges that are in that little part of the map, like the three bridges.
And there was also that platform that elevated, I think, or something.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah. Wait, was that? Yeah. The big ass platform that like you have to go through like the little ways that split into it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I already said how much I hate Extreme Evolution.
Oh, that stage.
Mash Driver Base I like a lot. That's one of my favorite stages. That's it's not a new stage either. It's relatively flat with like a few buildings here in between, but I think that's one of the more fair stages compared to most of the game.
The only thing I don't like about that stage is that some of the buildings are indestructible.
Oh yeah.
That like you're used to like all the buildings are this like you can just blow through them, right? But this version is like, yeah, man. The strategy of shooting a building to get the other guy behind it doesn't work anymore on this stage.
Yeah,
Sorry.
not stage. Yep. Like you said, the Stargazer stage is amazing too. I hope it gets a lot more use, like in tournament settings. I'm not really sure why, though, it doesn't get that much exposure in tournaments.
I think it's because like the elevation change like it's not flat. There's flat sections, but there's always like this little hill. There's always these little hills around.
Hmm
I think that's the main reason.
Okay. I think my favorite new stage is Lantau Island, though. The G Gundam stage of the Dark or the Devil Gundam heads in the center.
Oh yeah, that stage. We actually played a lot. I think Brett hosted the room only on that stage. Like that was a default stage for everyone.
Yeah, I
Uh,
remember. I was there. Yeah,
it was so much fun.
yeah. That needs more use. Anyway, Taco, how about you?
I'm gonna be unpopular and say that I like Rebirth,
Oh, God.
and the main reason is for the knot cliff, the green rocks on the left hand side of the stage.
Uh-huh.
I think those present some pretty interesting situations for dodging and popping out and getting people.
He just
I've
like
had a lot of fun around those.
Oh God.
He's that guy. He's the guy that
Yeah.
just like he just goes retreats back to the hill, the rocks.
And pop out, throw out a little easy 8 cannon shot, go back behind the rock.
Oh God. I hate those rocks so much actually.
And the one that I like the least is Londinian. How do you say that?
Which one is
Um,
it?
The Char's counterattack stage with
Oh,
Yeah, it's
the
number
two
10 on our
pits.
list.
yeah. It's
With
like it's the one with the domes and the really really sad box.
yeah,
Yeah,
the boxes that I always find myself in and struggling to get out of with ground type units. And whenever
Yeah.
I'm in them, I'm just like, aw, this sucks.
Aw. How did I get myself here again?
I
yeah.
just got out of this. Why did I go into the other one?
Oh, they're not that far apart.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the stage I like the least. That I play on with any degree of regularity anyway. I
yeah.
like Moon Moon a lot though. That one's a lot of fun.
Moon Moon is fun. Yeah, I don't like the Char's counterattack stage either. But I always hate it. I think it's not even like the sad box they get to. It's like the pillar will always obstruct my way. Somehow, I will always die because that was in my way of my boost. I didn't account for it.
It's just that one thing in the middle that somehow you always run into.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's not
Yeah.
something. It's not something that I can react to. It's not like it's like oh I can go over this. It's like oh I have to really think about swerving really slowly around it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the Brussels statue in the middle.
Yeah, I never
Uh,
actually had a problem with Brussels because I actually just play at the border of that stage.
oh god, that,
I try not to ever go in the middle of that stage.
I get caught
oh,
in the alleys in Brussels a lot.
Rip.
Yeah,
oh god.
those aren't very fun corridors to be in.
Death
They,
traps.
they used to be worse, trust me.
So they were somehow worse. So think about this, and now think about it being 3 times worse in vanilla. I don't know if you actually played the on in vanilla, but yeah. Very, very sad. But I mean, in general, the stage selection in this game is fairly fun. It's nice variety to it, for better or worse.
Yeah, and there's a lot of stages to choose from now. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know how many of you guys are using the custom background music feature. Are any of you guys using it? Because I'm not.
Extensively.
How about
I'm sorry, which feature?
the custom BGM?
Oh, I actually use it a lot.
So
I
yeah. Oh, go for it if you're gonna say something.
Yeah, actually, I changed a lot of themes around. I removed Toby Gundam and I put some BGM from the Premium G version. And I put Chargakuru for the
Mhm.
Char song for
Uh-huh.
Char's unit, but for some reason, Johnny Ridden is affected by that song.
That's amazing.
The first time I tried, I took the Johnny Ridden Zaku for a spin, right, in arcade mode.
Huh?
And the first song that starts playing is Chargakuru. I'm like, it's like the game is trying to tell me something, but I'm not sure what. And it's like other things. Yeah, I changed one of the Crossbone themes for the Crossbone team in G Generation DS because
Mhm.
that team is godlike.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
And I changed a bunch of themes around too. I removed the double O vocal songs because I don't want.
Aw, you don't like the super kawaii song it has?
I hate opening 2 of season 2 so much. You have no idea. Uh, and I removed the Seed Destiny tracks as well, or the vocal ones,
Mhm.
and the Seed songs as well. And I removed those. I think what else did I change? I changed a bunch of them. I removed Anime Janai because fuck that song.
I agree. I agree.
I actually put I wanted because back in the Zeta game you could unlock double Zeta and I had the Boy of Shangri-La as one of the BGMs and I freaking love that BGM in that game. But for some reason I can't find a loop version of it anywhere, so
Oh
I'm kind of
no.
sad. Yeah, and I'll probably have to like put my PS2 disc and just record that song or something. I don't know.
Oh man, just super getaway. There we go.
Yeah, super getaway. And so yeah, I put another track for Double Zeta, which is a battle BGM. I don't remember which one I put though. And yeah, I switched a couple of songs around. But for the most part, most of the songs are still intact, except those I mentioned. Oh, and I put one of the battle themes from the Zeta movies. as a main theme for pretty much all the Zeta units because that battle theme is too good.
Right.
Senko no Naka no MS or some
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
I love that theme to death. So, like whenever someone picks Zeta, there's like 25% chance that song will play, and I'm happy.
My my soundtrack doesn't have a lot of the original stuff left.
Oh,
It's become a odd mashup of Aquarion, Macross, and Star Driver.
That's great.
And
no
I've just been,
Gundam whatsoever.
let's see. For the G Gundam units, I've been switching those out with Masaki Endo anime opening covers
Yes.
because they're hot-blooded and manly.
There you go.
They sure are.
And yeah, so there actually isn't a lot of Gundam left in my custom soundtracks. It's just something that I've always abused whenever I've given the opportunity. Is like, you can customize your soundtrack. I'm like, well, no original music is going to be left in this.
I don't know. For me, a Gundam game doesn't feel like a Gundam game unless there's Gundam music, but that's just me.
Doesn't have to be a Gundam game. You can just make it so you just play a game and pretend it. Like, no. Don't lie, Taco. You have an Idolmaster music somewhere in there.
Actually, I've phased that out.
Oh my god.
That's Mahoko that's got all that now.
We should have gotten Mahoko on this to see how much Idolmaster music he has.
I think he has all the Idolmaster.
Yeah, I think he's replaced pretty much everything with it.
Oh my
And then he did it on the wrong account, so then he had to do it all over again.
Oh god.
That's pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I forgot what I was going to say.
I started with some Idolmaster tracks, but then when I was just going through, my soundtracks folder, I was just like, oh yeah, these shows had really awesome soundtracks. I should put those in there. I think I've got a couple of Horizon tracks in there too.
Sweet.
Mm.
So, have you guys, Air in particular, have you tried uploading anything to YouTube just with the original VGMs? Because we're gonna get, I want to see, I don't know if anyone has compiled a list of like songs in the game that's like really prone to YouTube content ID.
Anything by TMR is automatic.
Yeah, TM Revolution.
Worldwide block, mute, whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, what I was going to say actually now I remember is that custom BGMs do not affect replays. I know I've been saying that a lot in various chat rooms and whatnot, but this is what I've noticed when I've been uploading matches, is that some of the BGM, like the custom BGM doesn't carry over, which is something that's really annoying, since you'd expect them to carry over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a bug, rather than a purposeful omission.
It probably is a bug. I hope it's a bug because it's really annoying. That like you spend time actually changing the soundtrack just to be able to not hear the songs you don't like, and then basically it's still the same shit when you try to replay. And then you upload the replay by accident because you thought, oh, well, I changed the songs, right? So it shouldn't be like that TMR song or that 00 song. And then suddenly you get an email from YouTube saying, yo, that video might have copyrighted content. You're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, that's really weird. I did not know that. Like, I remember you mentioning it, but I didn't know that was like the full extent of it. It's like, I thought it was just like it was gonna pick like a random song. Like,
no, yeah, it actually plays a song that should have been played from the get-go instead.
Oh.
I bet it's like one line of code that's missing that does the check for it, and that's why it doesn't work.
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah, it's really annoying, and I hope that whenever Maxi Boost comes out, they'll fix that.
Or maybe someone had, someone brought up the issue to Bamco, and maybe hopefully they're thinking it's like, oh, maybe we should fix that, or maybe we should get out more DLC.
Maybe they'll give us another free navigator.
Oh yeah, have another free navigator, the alternate skin for Soma.
Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I've been doing is just when uploading replays to YouTube, and Taco knows I've been tempting fate a lot with that. Is I just basically rip out, I record the replays without BGM and just stick in my own custom BGM to it, and like I'm basically keeping like a notepad of like what songs are being content ID'd now. It's more for my own curiosity and experiment, and at the same time just getting around content ID and trying to make matches. I don't know, kind of fit with the music, I guess. Something that you wouldn't normally hear.
Mm.
Although I guess it's less of an issue since you're not monetizing your stuff, are
Yeah,
you?
no.
Yeah, no, I'm not. So I just put my replays out there for people to see. That's it.
Yeah, basically, if it isn't a strike, then it's no big deal for me.
But it's still annoying because I remember when Game Acho, one of the big arcades in Japan, used to like put videos for, well, they actually still do, but when they put videos of Gundam, like it's like 2 hour footage, like, oh yeah, it's gonna be awesome, and then everything is muted, no sound. You're like, oh,
And it's just because it happens once in the video, and it mutes the whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah,
Kind of lame.
pretty lame.
So for people who are interested in uploading their Gundam matches to YouTube, what are your personal workarounds slash solutions to it, just to help them out?
I actually don't upload matches that have those songs. That's pretty much it. Every time I hear TMR or I hear a double O song, I'm like, oh, next replay, and I just don't record it, which is a shame because sometimes there's like some really great matches that I just want to put out because something funny happened or something,
Yeah.
and just like, nope, I can't upload that, otherwise it's gonna get muted anyway. So I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, a match would have to be really good for me to want to, uh, mute the game audio or mute the BGM, record it, throw in some other BGM, and then upload it.
Yeah, because I remember in one of the matches that I actually recorded for back in Vanilla, it was actually two turnays. We were fighting two turnays. One of them launches the nuke, and the other just moonlight butterflies through it. That was like the best shit ever. And
Nice.
and that actually killed me. And I was like, well, I need to upload this on YouTube. And like a day later, it's like, oh, video's muted. I'm like, fuck. And yeah, it's really sad.
So yeah, basically, if you're gonna record, mute the BGM and just toss your own music in the background.
Yeah, if you don't have the means to toss your own music, just at least share with the world. Like if you think that's a good like it was a great match, then at least sacrifice BGM so at least we can still hear sound effects, and we'll have to live with just listening to our own music while listening to watching your video.
Windows comes with Windows Movie Maker though, so you can usually just do things that way.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh, I always forget that exists for some reason. I don't know why.
It's my go-to for quick things, just when it's like, this is just a little mashup thing. I don't need to worry about doing Vegas with this. Toss it in Movie Maker. It takes like 30 seconds.
I actually don't have Windows Movie Maker. I should probably download it.
Yeah, it's on the Microsoft website. It's like Windows Live Essentials or something. And it's like, do you want to download like Messenger and Outlook and Movie Maker? I'm like, just Movie Maker, please.
Also, I think one of the best additions in this game, well, not one of the best, but one of the most smartly integrated things in this game is the way you purchase navigators, outfits, and gauge skins with a catalog option. Just the in-game store. That's
yeah,
like,
that saves so much time. Yeah, that saves so much time.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Like, going to the Japanese store is actually can be a pain in the ass sometimes.
All the time.
Oh yeah, all the time. except when the thing you want is on the main page. That's when it's good, but otherwise it's a pain. And yeah, like just being able to buy it in game without having to bother navigating the store and whatnot. That's like really the best thing they could have done. Especially since there's so much stuff you can buy now.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have a page for suits in the catalog in the UI? I didn't see one.
No, not for suits. You have to
Sadly.
still go through the store for suits.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty big oversight.
Yeah.
I don't know why they did it.
It's been the main barrier of me not really looking into DLC suits, really. It's like, it's not in the catalog. I'm not going to bother right now.
And maybe they'll fix that in Maxi Boost.
Everything is maybe they'll fix that in Maxi Boost.
I feel like we're talking about an Arc System Works game here.
I think that what they did with the catalog thing was really kind of devious though, because it's kind of like I was trying to talk about this the other week, but like how you know how the puzzle pieces in 3DS when you collect like puzzle pieces to like make a picture through it, like through street passes. So like every time you like buy something from the catalog, it like frees up that space for like a little part of an image. That like so you have to buy all this DLC if you want to see that whole image.
Yeah, that's like really frustrating because I know I'll never see that full image.
I'm waiting for someone to upload the images. Like I don't know if anyone's done it yet, but they'd have to spend well over $300 to do it.
Yeah, it's like $400 something for all the DLC.
Yeah, that's why I say I'm never gonna see it. Because I doubt anyone will spend that much money on it.
You say that now, but
I'll get to see the parts of it that are covered by the Stezia outfits.
Oh god.
So,
and especially like in some pages, it's not fully covered, right? So maybe they'll add DLC soon.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't like cover up the freed parts with DLC, would they?
They probably.
Probably.
Everyone's like, I could see it.
Yeah, like you'll be fixing Maxi Boost.
That reminds me, did Idolmaster have some sort of in-game catalog option similar to this, Taco?
Okay, how that worked is you had to download catalogs, which were basically the data for the DLC. It wasn't like on disk or anything like that. And then you went after you downloaded those catalogs, you went in through the game UI and basically unlocked items piece by piece through the game. It was just one sort of sectioned off piece of the UI that basically had all the DLC there. There wasn't like any separation like the suits and navigators, skins, and avatars thing that Full Boost has.
Okay.
But
so
yeah, they've always done this sort of, well, recently, from what I can tell, Namco's been doing this sort of proprietary-ish way of handling DLC, which, you know, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Just sometimes it seems a little incomplete.
Yeah. I was just wondering because there can be definitely some parallels made between how this game handles its catalog versus Idolmaster's catalog. I can imagine
just having the catalog system to begin with.
Yeah, I can imagine. I was like, hey, we did this with Idolmaster. Why not bring it to Gundam? It's like, all right.
And thus the spending begins.
Pretty much. I think I bought like 5 UIs and like. And I bought the Titans UI, I bought the League Militaire, I bought the one with the water suits at the beach. That's actually what I use right now because it's the best. And I bought a couple of other ones, I don't remember. Like I bought a few and I'm probably never going to use them. I just like the designs, but I'm like, I could be playing with those, or I could be playing with my kawaii aquatic mobile suits.
Yeah.
I've got the Kihel and Diana navigators.
Same here.
I've got the first 3 outfits for Stezia, and I have the Harry Ord alternate outfit.
The hipster outfit.
I actually have a bunch of alternate outfits. I bought the Domon, the Master Asia, Uso in Victory 2. Or no, because you know in Victory 1 Uso is like in civilian clothing or whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And in Victory 2, like, he has a spacesuit on. And for the DLC, they just swap them around. And so I bought the civilian version of Uso in the V2. And what else? I bought Haman, and I think that's it. No, I bought Luna's alternate outfit. And I'm waiting for Luna Maria Navigator to buy her.
We are so part of the problem here.
Oh, you have no idea.
I was about to say, meanwhile, at Bandai Namco.
Yeah. So what did you buy, Kirin?
For navigators, I actually don't have many. I got Diana with the Keyhole outfit. Like Taco was saying, I got the free ones. I got the Soma one for free, the Haro ones for free. I got the free gauge skins. Like I don't know if the extreme version of the gauge skin was still free, but I have that. But I'm not exactly using it either. I like the default UI for some reason.
I
But
didn't.
yeah, I'm not really a big part of the problem. I didn't get any alternate outfits yet. I was really considering it for Stargazer's pilots, but I was like, I gotta calm down. Oh wait, I am part of the problem because I have every DLC unit. Never mind.
Well, yeah, I have every DLC in it too, but
I haven't downloaded Haro on principle.
why? Haro's actually Haro until I got Nana. Yeah, I bought Nana. Until I got Nana, Haro was actually my default navigator, and
How did you
playing
survive?
playing V2 with Haro as your navigator feels so right.
Oh, that's true. I guess that's very fitting.
Yeah, I guess that's fair, but I wasn't really using any unit that it would go with, and I was like, this is just a plan to get people to buy navigators. I'm not gonna buy. Oh, hey, Stezzy, I'll just download this real quick.
Which outfit of Stezzy are you using?
I'm using her third one, the blue beret.
Oh yeah, that one's cute.
So yeah, that's what I got. I kind of wish there was like a random navigator option, how it could cycle through, that and the Diana one that I've got. But whatever.
Yeah, that's the one thing like you have to like always go change it. Same thing with the UIs. It's like I buy a bunch of them. It's like, well, I can only use one. I can't use the rest.
I think
Maxi boost.
it's gonna be
Maxi
updated Maxi Boost. But
Yeah.
I think the big thing about my fear about the custom gauge skins is like I feel like they're gonna be too much of a distraction. Like the one that I really like is there's one that says like boost at the end, like at the over the boost gauge. It's like really funny. I really want. I know it's gonna freaking distract me when I play with it, but it's
Well,
really hilarious.
actually, I haven't been distracted by my gauge yet.
Hmm.
It's like I'm just too used to just playing and not like I pay attention to it, but not that much. So I guess like it hasn't affected me gameplay wise yet.
I think I just laugh on principle because the one that I'm talking about, like the one that says boost over its boost gauge, like in like really big bubble letters, because I'm a high school DxD fan, and to fans of that, the light novel and the anime of that, the boost has a certain connotation to them in the subject of that show, and it's pretty hilarious. And every time I look at it, I just have to giggle to myself, and that'll
Oh,
probably get me
okay.
killed in combat for sure.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, you don't want that,
It's pretty bad.
do you?
For sure.
Okay.
So we're at how many DLC units are out now? Eight, I
And
think.
only
Eight or
and
nine.
only like four of them. I mean, no, maybe like two of them are actually new.
Yeah. Okay. So you have extreme the EXS, the Lacus's Infinite Justice, Johnny Ridden's Zaku, Shin Matsunaka's Zaku, Quatre Wing Zero, the Luna's Impulse, Camille's Titans Mark II, and Patrick's GNX 3.
Yeah.
Well, I know Taco hasn't gotten any of them, but what are your unless you did you get the free ones, Taco?
Yeah, I got the free ones.
Okay, so what are your general impressions of the DLC units that you have? We'll start with Taco first because he has the fewest ones. Like if you
Alright.
messed around with Extreme, not Extreme, EXS, Infinite Justice, or Johnny Ridden Zaku.
I messed around with EXS just to see how stupid the red lock-on range for his stuff is, and it's
Wow.
kind of
Wow.
nuts. But just last night in the beginner night, I was really putting in some time with Lacus's Infinite Justice, and it was a lot of fun. I think that's a pretty cool unit. But the Johnny Ridden Zaku, I really haven't messed around with at all.
I think you should. I think you'll like it. It's actually a pretty fun unit. Like it moves so well, especially when it's BC was its special movement. I think you'll find a lot of fun with it.
Cool. I'll have to look into it. But the other units I really just haven't even glanced at, just because I'm not even through, getting to terms with all the base units in the game, much
Mhm.
less the DLC ones.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
especially
90
since
units.
especially since a lot of them really aren't that worth it, to be honest. How about you, Air? What do you think about the units that you have?
Well, I pretty much bought all of them, so I guess I'm part of the problem too. And
Yeah.
yeah, so I kind of liked Johnny Ridden Zaku. Really liked the whole grenade thing, the the movement up, like the BC that
Hmm.
can be followed up with a B afterwards, and like just combo into stuff and shit. One thing I tried Lacus Infinite Justice, and actually one of my friends like bought the game too, and he was like, "Yo, day one we go in a free battle and do a Lacus Infinite Justice mirror, and we can only use Kira assist, and that's it." It was like the worst match ever. And and I haven't touched Lacus Infinite Justice since on principle alone. And yeah, I tried out the XS just because that was before the patch, just because you could hit anyone from anywhere with those income reflectors. That
Yeah, that
was
was
really
ridiculous pre-patch. Oh my god.
oh, yeah. Like I remember I used it a bit. And I was like, oh, even I'm not scummy enough to use that. And then I see a couple of other players using it. I'm like, oh my god.
Yep.
And I think at one point, Dre was actually playing, and I think he was playing ranked, and one of the opponent was using XS, and the other guy was using the dog,
Hmm.
the 1K dog. So,
Yeah.
and the match ends like you see XS going for the funnel for the income reflector, and instead of shooting like whoever, he shoots his partner, and that's how they lost. And that was like the funniest shit. I don't know if he uploaded that part, but that was like the greatest thing ever.
That's pretty
And
awesome.
yeah, so afterwards, yeah, after Excess, there was the Shin Matsunaga Zaku. I that's I don't like it,
Yeah,
to
it's
be
really
honest.
weird. I mean, I
It's
can
like
kind of see it, but it's definitely a weak 2K, especially for a 2K unit. It's pretty weak.
yeah, it's like I don't know. It seemed like almost identical to Johnny Ridden, except it doesn't have the boost dash, like the boost C, the BC option.
Hmm.
It's like I think it's an assist instead or
Yeah, it's
something.
assist.
And then the grenades are not as useful as Johnny Ridden's, so I'm like, "Ugh, I'm not sure." And I have not messed around with it since. So I really don't know like if people found new things with it or if they managed to actually make it like some of the stuff actually useful.
Or if
But
anyone
I remember,
cares.
yeah, I doubt anyone cares, and that's probably the main problem. So yeah, I haven't messed around with it since. Then there was Quattro's Wing Zero.
Quadre Zaku.
Yeah,
Let's give everyone a Zaku.
yeah. I was about to say, I was like, what? No, it's Wing Zero. Yeah. So Quattro's Wing Zero. I tried it out a bit, and it's okay. The main issue is that when you see it in battle, and especially like the like day one it came out, like you'd expect it to be the 3K version, right? So like
Hmm.
you see like your reborns with Wing Zero, you're like, oh well, this is gonna be like double 3K, like it shouldn't like we can maybe do this, and then you kill them both once, and the match not over. You're like, what's going on? It's like, oh, it's Quattro.
Uh-huh.
So that's like, and I've actually messed around with it a bit, and really the biggest loss, I think the biggest thing it lacks is the charge shot A
Yeah.
of Wing Zero.
Hmm.
Otherwise, that's almost pretty much everything else. Although the super is different, it's the Rolling Buster
Super
tire,
crazy version.
yeah, super crazy version that just like spins around like 5 times or some shit. And although I'm not like not a huge fan of that super, like first time I saw it, I just wasn't really sure. It's like, oh, it doesn't seem. It seemed like useful, maybe like to just throw it out there randomly, but other than that, like to combo into it, I don't really see that happening.
What I like doing with that is I intentionally whiff its AC, just its normal rolling buster, like at close proximity to the suits, and
Mhm.
then I boost dash out of it, activate meter, and then do the rolling buster, super. It's pretty hilarious actually. Rarely anyone sees like double rolling busters coming.
Yeah, no one ever does, I think. And I think the Star Shot B, the way the serial system lasts less longer for the for Quattro's version. I'm not sure. Does
I'm
it?
not sure if it lasts longer. I think it actually lasts. I don't know if it. I think it's around the
Oh,
same time to be honest, but I don't know.
oh no,
Maybe.
I think it. I meant it like it lasts shorter, like not as
Oh,
long.
okay. Like it counts down shorter.
Yeah, I think, but I'm not sure. I haven't really tested that,
Hmm.
or I doubt anyone actually cared either. So then there was the current batch, Camille's Mark II. I played around with, like I did an arcade with it, and it seems okay for 1K, I guess.
I think it has. Yeah, I think it's actually a decent one because it has actually a reloadable buster, right? A beam rifle,
Yeah, that's like the biggest,
the
like
biggest thing.
yeah, because normally 1Ks, especially the beam rifle. Well, the only 1K I actually use is Victory right now, and that has a 7-shot beam rifle, which is like no, I don't think any other 1K has that. So just having a 4-shot reloadable beam rifle is like really good thing. The bazooka is good. Only like the only thing it misses is really the G Defensor, but that makes sense since Camille's Mark II didn't have that. So yeah. Rigged Yes Assist is kind of weird. Then again, I didn't play a lot of Mark II in the first place, so I'm probably not the best authority on that.
Hmm.
And then there was that other suit.
Luna's impulse.
Oh yeah, Impulse. Yeah, that
Yeah.
Impulse. Impulse is like has all the tools of the 2.5. It's like really strong and really it's just really good in
I,
general.
I don't know if I would say it's really good in general. I mean, Luna's impulse has the tools and like it has slightly lower boost, like overall boost because of its cost, but
Yeah.
it's just especially it's like what's it called? It's force impulse form. I don't know if
Hmm.
it's for the like the long range version with like the big ass green cannons on the side.
That's a blast.
Bla Oh, but is force impulse just its normal mode?
Yeah. Force
Okay.
Impulse is the normal mode. Blast is the big cannons, and the other I guess is Sword. I'm not sure how it's called.
Yeah, like blast impulse is just like the reload speed on it is like really long, like but after you expend its main A shot with it, and it like the charge shot for it is way longer compared to say 500 one. Like it's an okay suit, but it's it takes a long time for it to get its tools back, which is like understandable because if it mirrored Shin's version, it'd be like top of the 2K line
Pretty
for sure.
much.
Yeah, it'd be really up there. So it's one of those things like either make it super mediocre or you make it really good beyond
Yeah,
reason.
and yeah, and besides, like there's already like the strike in that category of the 2K that can just change out like change weapons on the fly.
Yeah,
So I guess they wanted to make it a bit different. Yeah.
so it's okay. Did you go over the GNX 3?
I use it like once,
Oh,
and
okay.
I really don't think I'll be using it again, to be honest. But then again, like even back in vanilla, a lot of DLC units, I was like, oh, I played around once when it came out. I don't really like them. Then months later, for some reason, like I'd say, oh, I'm gonna try that one again. Like I spend like $5 on it. Why not? And then end up loving them. It's like
Hmm.
Zaku 3 in vanilla. It's like I didn't like it when I first tried it out. Then I just tried it out months afterwards. And like, whoa, this was really fun. And a bunch of other suits were like that too. So maybe maybe in a month or two, I'll just go back to those suits and find maybe a new main. I don't know, but Patrick's Gen X3 is so far. I can tell that I'm not too fond of it. Um, Beam machine gun. feels like it feels okay, but then you activate its AC, I think,
Hmm.
and for some reason it feels slower. I'm not sure if it's me, but it somehow feels slower than it already is. So I don't really see the point of that. But maybe I'm probably wrong because I just did like two or three arcade missions with it, but it felt slower for some reason, and its AB feels kind of just like a powered up shot of his machine gun or something. So it's like okay, and its BC reminds me of Johnny Ridden's BC, which is like the dash thing that almost all the grunt units use in mission mode. So yeah, like overall, I don't think I'll be using it that much, but maybe like who knows, maybe a few months from now I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna try it out, and I suddenly I love it, and I don't use anything else for like a week or so.
Yeah, I think I starting to warm up to Patrick's GNX3 a lot because I think the main potential of that suit is just its mobility options and its like seamless arsenal, like like endless arsenal in terms of like you never really run out of ammo with the dude because it has a lot of shots on its beam machine gun. His AB reloads fairly fast, but either way, like when it goes to AC, like even if you're like down, if you have no more shots left on your tools, it instantly refills them and like double their values too
Oh,
on
okay.
that. So that's the main purpose of AC on that. And I don't know if there's any other added benefits besides its arsenal, like replenishing its ammo. It's kind of like a free meter activation almost, like in terms of like replenishing your ammo
Okay.
and doubling it. I think the real potential of the suit comes from its mobility options, especially with BC, because what people are starting to find out on Dustloop is like you can definitely like go into BC and then right after BC you go into a Fuwa step and like you're already hard to hit like during all of that
Yeah.
and it's really good for closing in too to really force melee situations on them because this melee isn't that bad like people have been saying that like 2B is actually a really damn good finisher for the suit
Hmm.
um, and I think It, like I haven't really got delved too much into Patrick 2. It's a bit light on the damage side, obviously because it's a 1K, but even as a 1K, it's not that damaging.
Yeah.
Um, and like its EX burst attack is probably my the biggest thing I like about it because of the way
Uh,
they decide to implement that.
yeah, it reminds me of Dan in MVC too, when like he has a super that just blows himself up
Oh,
and
I
he
totally
just
forgot
leaves
about that.
and
Yeah,
leaves him 1 HP. It's like, oh, that's like the Dan of the game. It's like, wow, okay.
yeah. But I mean, overall, the DLC units will be DLC units for this game. I
Yeah.
mean, they're not amazing. The only amazing ones I think there are is the EXS and I guess Patrick's. I don't know.
Yeah,
I,
because
ca-
for the most part, they're just weak skins of,
yeah,
or
I mean,
like just toned down versions of other suits. So
Patrick's
it's
like the
like,
only actual unique one aside from the EXS. Everything else is basically. Well, I mean, and Johnny Ridden Zaku
yeah, Johnny Within Zaku.
is good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like
but
that one a lot.
the rest is like just, well, there's a unit with a different cost, a different pilot, have fun. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Are there
And the
any
one
non-clone suits on the horizon, or is it mostly just clone suits?
For
mostly code suits.
mostly clone suits, like from the initial leak that everyone thought was hopefully fake.
Oh,
It's turning out more and more to be true.
I
Yeah,
prayed it was fake,
but
and I rarely pray. So
but yeah, there's still gonna be more suits on the clone suits on the horizon.
really, the only clone suit I'm somewhat looking forward for is Marbit's Victory Gundam. I
Uh,
think that's one of the elite units. I'm not sure,
I don't know. I I, I
but
I I I think it is.
so yeah, like because I'm really hoping that she actually plays differently because like Uso in the show used to like throw parts like at random, but she didn't do that. So I hope that they actually reflect that in the gameplay and make her play differently than he would. So like I'm kind of looking forward to that, and it's supposed to be a 2K. And every time I look at the character select screen, I don't go over the 2K that much. So you'll probably give me a reason to go to a 2K again.
I like 2K. It's my comfort zone.
Yeah, it's like I play either. Well, there is a 2K I play. It's Hammurabi, but I have not. I've been kind of neglecting it for like since week one of release, actually. So yeah.
Before we go to the FAQ session, I want your guys' thoughts on just new suits you like in general, like whether they're new or if they're from vanilla. Because of course the old cast also got a lot of them got big changes all around. We'll start with Taco. I know you've been playing around with God a lot and been messing around with some of the new suits. What are your favorite suits to play with right now?
Right now, God is still one of my favorites to play, although its 2,500 cost makes it a bit more liability since I'm not really that great with it. So I've kind of fallen to a comfort zone 2K more melee unit, and I've been having a lot of fun with Exia over the past few days.
Nice,
And
nice.
I mean, I really like the mobility options that it's got. It's AB, the stun move that also has mobility built into it. That's really good. I'm trying to find use for its BC, which the neutral BC is the kind of spin slash move that I haven't really figured out any real use for, but I think that it's got potential there to be really a really good tool.
Use 8BC.
8BC? Okay.
8BC is like the one that like it stomps on you. Like it goes really high to the air first before it stomps on you, and you can do a
Okay.
lot of crazy shit with that.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll look into that.
and allows you to also when like you like do the boost jump, you can just do that in like fastball.
And the suit that I didn't really see myself picking up and having tons of fun with is actually RX-78. I sort of accidentally played it a few times and I was just like, hey, I like this. I like this suit a whole lot.
Accidentally played with it.
Well, yeah, it's
It's
like I know
great.
like a lot of people mention about the RX-78 too. A lot of people when people ask me, "Oh, what's a good suit to like learn the basics?" Like, well, RX-78 too. Like, it can do almost pretty much everything, right? It
Yeah,
got
Yeah.
it's great all rounder.
yeah. So just play with that, and like a few people actually here in Montreal like been playing with it, and yeah,
How about you, Air? I know you've been messing around a lot in Bravi, but not lately. But as you were saying, but
yeah.
what are your overall thoughts of the new suit? Your favorite new suits and maybe some old suits that you still stick around with.
I love Ifrit a lot. I really love that suit. It's a shame I'm not good at the front position. Otherwise, I'd be playing it all day. Uh, I love Humbrabi too, although I haven't played it a lot lately, mainly because like I've been trying to mess around with the rest of the cast. Um, I love the new V2.
Hmm.
V2 in this game feels a lot better than did in vanilla. Its Gerobi in Assault Buster mode is like really great. Uh, I try to do it at least 3 times when I'm in I'm in Assault Buster mode, and it's just like it hits really well and does a lot of damage. I think it's one of the best. Is it one of the best Gerobis in the game? I heard it was one of the
I
best.
think it, yeah, I think it was one of the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I love Victory Gundam as well, but that's because I love Victory Gundam in general. I've been starting to mess around with Banshee a bit, and
Hmm.
I really like it so far. Spiegel is another unit I want to eventually start playing. I messed around with it a bit, just trying to see how much Izuna drops I could do in one combo.
How do you do the Azuna drop? Because
Uh,
I haven't really messed around with Spiegel that much, but I haven't really
it's
heard.
base, it's 2B.
It's just 2B.
Yeah, just 2B. It just grabs you and like Izuna drop, and then you can. The maximum I've done is 2 in 1 combo, and it feels great.
What? Are you serious? You can do two Azuna drops in one combo?
Yeah, it's the best shit.
Oh my god.
And I'm sure you could do more in EX, but yeah, so far the maximum I've been able to do regular, it's 2.
That's hilarious.
Uh, I like Impulse. I've been I've tried messing around with it a bit. Because that was back in the seed game, this Rempo versus AF2. That was Sword Impulse actually my main back then.
Uh-huh.
So when I play Impulse just by reflex, I always go to sword mode and never change. And I'm like, oh, this is not working out.
It's
And,
a bad idea, but we'll roll with it.
yeah, so, and I also like, I played with Xenon Phase a bit,
Uh-huh.
and I kind of like it. I haven't tried the other versions of the Extreme Versus yet, but I mean the Extreme Gundam yet, but Xenon Phase really, I really like it. But then again, I'm not good at fronting in this game, so it's like it's not really my thing.
I suck with
Uh,
Xenon phase, no lie.
yeah,
I tried and then I was like I just did really badly again and again. I'm like I just don't get it. I just don't get
yeah.
it.
And I've been my main in vanilla was Crossbone X2. I've been trying it a bit again, and it feels like it feels weird. The red lock reduction for it, like makes it you have to be more mid range with it, and that felt really weird. It still feels weird to this very day, actually, that I have to be closer. I can't just stay back and spam CSA all day, uh, which was basically what I all I did back then anyway. But and yeah, there's a bunch of units I want to try out in this game. Rosanzula, I want to try it out. I want to try out Kublai Mark II. Because I think I messed around with it a bit in vanilla, but never really got into it. Although I did try it once, and our AC is now a charge shot, and that feels kind of weird. But now our AC is actually a summon, so it feels okay. But yeah, like there's lots of units I want to mess around with later on, and when we probably got 2 years to play this game, so I'll be messing around with a lot of units.
We have that time limit set.
Yeah, like 2 more years of full boost, and then it's gonna be maxi boost. And yeah, now I've been playing Reborns a bit, but not much, and I like it, but yeah, I'm not really good with it yet. Probably need to practice more, and yeah, that's pretty much it for me.
Okay.
Oh, one suit I really hate fighting is Gian. I hate playing against it. And Brett, if you're listening, I hate fighting your Gian even more. That's it.
Yeah, Red has really been doing wonders to Gian, like learning it and stuff. Like, there's not a lot of Gian players in this game, sadly enough.
Yeah, but just like I can kind of see why there's not like Gian players because well, it's Gian's been always been more of a cult favorite, not really like it's like it shows up in one episode, right, of the original series, so it's not really a suit that like people remember.
They should.
They should, because it's fucking badass, right? And but it's, even like for people like that haven't seen Gundam, like they look at Gian like, what the hell is this shit? And then they watch like the movie compilation and it doesn't show up, right? So
Yeah.
I guess they just don't know what the suit is.
Sadly.
But yeah, but if you like, but like I tried it once, and I can see why it's like really good. Like shot A for it is like stupid good. Like Brett said, I like each shot tracks. It's like what? And like it's really hard to escape from, and 8B is just fucking good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, just the mines, right?
No.
Oh, 8B,
CC8,
8B,
yeah,
yeah, CC8B.
CC8B
Oh yeah,
is
CC8B is hilarious. That's
Oh
all I
my
do.
God.
That's all I do with it. If I'm near you and I'm not like trying to fire something at you, 9 times out of 10, I will be trying to CC8B you, because that is
and
just the
like,
most hilarious thing.
and every time I used to play against a Gian player, well, Brett, and every time I play against him, I'd be like, my victory 1K, and I just get body. I'm like, fuck. And suddenly I'm down to 80 HP, and I have to get away. Good times. But yeah, it's lots of units. Like I said, lobby. Like there's like over 100 units right now. There's more coming via DLC, so I'll probably be messing around with a lot of units to come.
That victory versus Gian sounds like whenever I'm using Easy 8 and going up against an Epion. Oh god, I can't get away. Oh god, I'm in red hell.
Yeah, Epion is another suit that I'll have to try out eventually, just to do
It's
the
so
AB,
silly.
AB.
The best combo.
It's like you
Oh,
look away for a second and then he's on top of you. It's like crap.
yeah, yeah. Like I know, like some people have been saying that the best Epion forces the other team to like stick closer together and only pretty much focus on him just to keep him out. So
Hmm.
and then the partner can just fucking do whatever he wants. But yeah, it's like if you somehow get separated from your partner and you're fighting an Epion, it's gonna be hurting.
Yeah, no doubt, no
Yeah.
doubt. Like Epion players, like really good Epion players, are just they're so very scary. Well, like
Yeah.
they will split you guys apart, like especially if they have a really damn good support with them, and there's just nothing you can do about it really. Like I remember last night, um, I was playing I think in New Hong Kong. It was an Epion and Death Scythe Hell team, and they
Oh
split us
god.
apart, and it was like horrendous. Like it
Yeah.
was pretty traumatizing.
Yeah, like and especially Desai Hell now is really good right now.
Oh yeah, Death Scythe was great.
I was like, oh, like first time I played Full Blue, was like, oh, yeah, Desai Hell, so I just gotta like stay away, right? And they start throwing assists at me, and like they blow up, and the explosions are so huge now compared to how they were before. I'm like,
Yeah.
what's going on? And I like get bodied so bad. But yeah, a lot of units in the old game got really great in this version. So even like units that you'd expect would get nerfed to hell, like Quanta, are like still really great or even better than they were before. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I hate how Quanta has now how the Zabanya assist in his normal mode. He doesn't have to be in Quantum Burst mode. It's
oh
super
god,
annoying.
oh it
Like
is.
it takes up so much space. Like and it comes out so fast too. Like
Oh,
I always forget that it's a normal mode now. I always have to commit that to memory when facing a Quanta. It's like okay, it's gonna Zabanya assist like between now and the next 15 seconds.
pretty much. And yeah, you can just throw that out there and just not really care what happens afterwards
Oh
because
yeah, I
it's
mean
gonna get you.
it's one of those things like it's up to them to dodge it. I'm just gonna throw it out here and see what happens.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. And if you don't dodge it for some reason, well, they get hit, and that's a lot of damage. So
Yep,
like
pretty
whatever.
much.
Yeah.
And if they block it, they're stuck in block stun for whatever, so I can get in for my melee.
Oh yeah. And
It's like
yeah, I block a lot in this game, which is something I have to stop doing. And
I block quite a bit too, but I don't try to abuse it too much.
like I think I uploaded a replay of Vanilla when I was playing Turn X, and I think I was stuck in blocks for like a whole 5 seconds.
Yeah, I've
Just
had that.
people just shooting me. I'm like, oh god! I was up in the air, I was just blocking everything. I was like, oh god, I want to get out now. Like,
Yeah.
fuck that.
I guess I'll go over briefly my units that I like in this game, and some units that surprised me. Of course, Stargazer is still my favorite in this game. Um, it's pretty hilarious how you play it this time around. It's not so much about nuke mines like it was in the Seed games.
Oh, I hated
Um,
that.
yeah, it's much more about its BC mode now, the one with the rings around it, and just the way how much damage it does when you actually do a full connect of its BC into during its mode ring mode. Like it does like a tackle on you, and but it's like the rings that are hitting you, and it's like super damaging. It's like over like 215 health, easy.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, it does a lot of damage. So what I do is what I call my level 3 X factor for Stargazer is I'll pick Assault Burst with it. I'll wait for that to go to full. So that's usually after one death. So
Yeah.
and then what I do on that last life is I basically activate rings and I do Assault Burst, and it moves so freaking fast. Like
Oh
I
yeah.
feel bad for anyone who has to try and target me during that because I'm just gonna try to get in on you, stun you, and do it right away because it does so much damage
Oh
during that.
god.
Yeah. So Stargazer, I did a whole Shin Mobile Suit highlights episode on it. You can see it on this channel. I'll provide a link of it down in the description. Other things, other units that I've been using, I do like the Extreme Gundam Eclipse phase a lot. Like it's the ranged
Um.
one with the big ass cannon on
Oh,
its
is it?
back.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, it's not the funnel one. Okay,
No,
yeah.
it's not the funnel
Got it.
one.
Okay.
So what I really like about that is like the muzzle correction on its AC, the Garobi is
Hmm.
amazing.
Was
Like
that good?
it's really good. Like shots that like you don't think should connect, he'll follow them to like the very before he actually shoots. Like it's amazing how much that thing follows the suit before it actually shoots.
Wow.
Like shots that shouldn't have made it. Like if you saw Brett's stream, like at various times like up against him, and I was like eclipse phase, like he'll ask me, he's like, "Were you aiming for the other guy?" I was like, "Nope, I was aiming for you."
uh,
So
and
eclipse phase is yeah amazing.
hmm.
Another suit that surprised me in this game that I thought I wouldn't like was Nana's Throne Dre.
Oh yeah, Throne Guy is great support.
Yeah, it's a great support suit, and just I like the way you have to uh play. Like it supports a really interesting style of gameplay that you don't see much with any other suit because of its stealth field.
Yeah, the stealth field is really great. It's actually the main thing that makes it good, in my opinion, is that like you just manage to get away from pretty much everything. You just throw it out, and for like during that time, your partner can just wreck the opponent so bad because
Yeah.
they can't hit him, right? Because if you manage to move well around everything, you can just wreck people. And one thing that happened to me, I was facing actually a team that had a Throne Dry in it. I was actually comboing the other guy, and stealth field kicked in, and my melee combo stopped because the tracking was cut
Are
in
you
the
serious?
combo.
Oh
I'm
my
dead serious.
gosh.
So I'd be like hitting them, and then I'd stop hitting, but my move was still coming out. So I was like, "Oh wow, you're kidding me!" And then
No way.
my move would just end, and then I just get hit by whatever, and it's like, "Oh my god!" It's like it felt so bad. But yeah, you can do that.
Sheesh. And I think
Yeah.
the last one that I'm really working on right now is just recently is the new Gundam, and that thing just got pretty amazing. Just with it having a proper charge shot A now instead of the little dummy dolls that it launched in vanilla, it actually has like a charged up shot now, and it actually
Oh yeah.
carries momentum when you fire it, so you still move quite a bit when you do it.
Hmm.
Is it's really good, and the tracking on it is great, and if it connects to an instant knockdown.
Yeah, I think Hainu has it too, but I'm not sure if it's just as good. But I never really played New in vanilla. I've always been more of a Hainu guy, so I don't know.
Yeah, Hainu has like the exact same thing with it. I think it's no, I think it's pretty much the same properties, but
Mhm.
of course Nu has the funnel pyramid, which is what makes it so amazing.
Yeah, Funnel Pyramid is really good, and although I do like anti-resonance for Hainu, but I can see why New Gundam's barrier is a better a better option.
Yeah, it's just because it allows you to get in safely. Like you can
Pretty
play
much, yeah.
you can play pretty much like if you have to play a good front with Nu, you can because pyramid will allow you to go on the offensive quite a bit. And
Yeah.
what I like seeing too, and I just recently saw this was like when people activate meter with pyramid up, so they can actually do a safe EX burst attack with it because it's a melee into the last shooting with funnels.
Oh,
So
the pyramid stays around you, or
yeah, this pyramid stays around you when you do it.
so how does it fire the funnels?
It doesn't fire it only fires
Okay.
the single it only fires the single funnel that's required for it.
Oh, okay, right.
So but
Oh,
it's still really damaging.
yeah, I can imagine. Like, but I think almost all the Amuru units, except for Hainu, have that. So even Reborns has it, the final shooting. So
Oh yeah, I forgot Reborns has final shooting too. It's pretty
yeah,
funny.
and it's an Amuru unit because same say you.
Yep. Ha, funny guys. I get it. We get it.
Yeah. So yeah.
And then I guess we're gonna wrap it up because we're almost at time. But um, just a quick FAQ session because I've been people have been just emailing me questions, so I'll pick out a couple here, and just to let people in on what's going on. So, okay, there's one tailored to me. The first question is, why did you put a poll asking if players use radar in full boost? Because I think within the first week or two, I did put a straw poll up that asked how many people actually do you actually use radar or in full boost or extreme versus?
I voted
Yes,
no.
yes, no, or once in a blue moon.
I'm actually I didn't use it back in vanilla, and I'm actively trying to change that right now because it can give you so much information on what's going on at the moment, and that's really useful.
Yeah, so here's how I tried to explain it to someone who because I got a similar question back, and someone really wanted to give me an explanation of why. So, first, the obvious answer in radar. You remember all those times when you land, there's like the enemy opponent is like right by you as you land. That could have been avoided by glancing at radar, seeing like their trajectory of like where they're generally going. So you actually, uh, if you look at radar, like just glance at it before you land, at least you get a general zone of like where as a safe landing. Even if it's like a brief moment, at least you have that option instead of them waiting for you to land and then just punishing you right there and then. The more in-depth answer is if you visualize in your head, imagine because in this game you have the hit indicators of like if the hit indicator is yellow, someone's locked onto you. If it's red, there's an attack going to you. It doesn't matter. It'll still show red even if they hit fired from like green lock range. So maybe that indicator is not a big threat because they fired at you from like so far from long range. So I told them hit indicators don't tell the whole story. Like imagine you're like there's an enemy to the right of you and there's hit indicator. When it fires at you, you only know there's an attack coming at you from the right side, but you don't know where from because you can easily dodge most shots if you know the angle at which it came from, which radar will tell you. So if you look at the radar and you see the position where they're at, you can get an accurate guess on where they fired from. If they fired at you from a 90-degree angle or a 45-degree angle, you can actually uh, react correctly to that to dodge it.
And
So.
also, well, sorry to interrupt you,
Mhm.
but also when the red indicator, sometimes it just means that there's something in that general direction that's going somewhere. Like even sometimes my partner will be shooting the enemy, and I still get red indicator, but it's just my partner is like shooting the enemy, not like in my direction. So it's just that there's something over there. Sometimes it just means that there's something going on over there. It's not immediately mean that there's something being shot at you.
Mhm.
Mm.
Yeah, so like hit indicators are great. Don't get me wrong, but they don't tell the whole story. So I'm not saying to like commit to looking at radar like every like 5 or 10 seconds, but at least glance at it. So, at first, it's to get used to looking at that zone of the screen because I know there's always so much going on, and I know people are afraid to like ever look away from that. Which I think that's the case, Taco. Am I correct for like a beginner?
Yeah, basically, what I'm focused on in the match is basically those screen side indicators, much
Mm-hmm.
more than the radar. Because if
Yeah.
something's yellow and then goes red, it's like, oh shit, something's coming my way.
Uh-huh.
And that's basically where you, even though it's the whole screen, that's where you tunnel vision a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. Think of it like I don't know, when you drive a car, you have to like look over your shoulder to like go into a lane. I guess is the best analogy I can put it at this time, you know?
Mm.
Let's see. We already went over favorite new units and why, and so we already went over that. Oh, there's a great question, and I guess I'm gonna put it to Air first, so Taco can think about it.
Yeah.
Who is your Gundam waifu?
Oh God. uh, it's actually Luna Maria from Sea Destiny.
All right, Taco.
Yeah.
I like Raylena Peacecraft.
Well, people like her.
Yeah, I almost threw up saying that. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Oh man, the really
Just because
offense.
I've been watching a lot of Turn A recently, I'm gonna say Deanna.
Oh shit, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. For me lately, I don't know if this is like the biggest surprise to everyone, but it's kind of Ayla from Gundam Build Fighters. He was like,
Oh yeah.
Big surprise.
right? I don't know.
Not the
She's
mom?
no, no. MILF plants, please go. I'm sorry, but
Aw, man.
Ayla for life. I can't wait for the new episode, like tomorrow, as of
Yeah,
this recording.
yeah. Is that gonna be? I think it's the fight between Ayla and Reiji or something.
No, let's say Ayla and Fellini this time.
Oh yeah. Because yeah, she didn't get to, she didn't beat him yet. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Spoilers.
before we spoil anything else besides them, um, okay. To me again. Are you going to SoulCal Regionals? If you are, then who's your partner and what's your team name there? Huh. That's awfully specific. Alright, yeah, I am going to SoulCal Regionals this Friday. Fridays, I think, only just for casuals, but I'll go there to train before the polls start on Saturday. Who's my partner? My partner is Cosmic Lullaby. You can follow him at Twitter at Cosmic Lullaby. Pretty cool guy.
I think he has an underscore in his name. I'm not sure.
I think it's like an underscore like at the end of his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Cosmic Lullaby and an underscore.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, yeah. So he's my partner. We hope to get out of our pools at least. That's the big hope. But you never know. I could be back here at the next Fuwacast and just be like, we didn't get out of our pools.
Rip.
Yeah, but that's my big hope. I'll be very happy if we do. What's your team name? My team name is a secret until the tournament. That's all I can say. I don't want to spoil it. Cause what?
How many entrants does Gundam have in SCR? Do we know?
I think right now the number is 20 teams, so there's 40 people right now.
Cool.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's a pretty damn good turnout for its first month and at a big major. So I'm really hoping after this tournament it'll gain a lot more support throughout, and this is for the Southern California region too. I mean, there's many players around the country. Let's see. Are you going to make a Shin Mobile Suit highlights episode of every new DLC unit? No, not really, because most of them are clones. I don't really see the value in that. I'll probably do one for the ones that seem unique enough, like EXS. I probably will do one. Patrick's GNX3 is also on the table, along with Johnny Ridden's Zaku. Other than that, I'm not too sure about anyone else, to be honest. They're pretty much clones, and I don't know if there's any any input I can put in that would like make them seem super amazing, because they have the same tools, almost the same mindset, and just different costs. And finally, and actually I'm gonna throw this way to you, Air, because you're more um, exposed to this than I am. What are your thoughts on the debacle of the pad versus stick in arcade tournament setups?
Oh god. Well, okay. I personally, I'm a pad player, so although I've been meaning to switch to stick, although I've been really lazy about it. I can see why it's annoying to like always have to go back and change controls all the time for for almost every match, because people like be playing different either stick or pad, whatever. But really, okay, I ran 2 tournaments for Gundam for Vanilla in Montreal, and we never had to remake a room for the players to switch controls. Like, sure, we had to re-invite some people, but we never had to like create a brand new room because everyone had to change their controls. So I guess I got lucky, but personally, I can God, I should have thought that I should have thought that question would have come up, but oh god, yeah,
Okay.
it's personally I don't mind, because I know like even in fighting games like people play different pads with pad stick, and Street Fighter 4 takes forever to do their button config, right? But for uh, for Gundam, that takes even a longer time because they'll all be inviting shit. But personally, I think that if like the people start doing like we don't accept pad players, whatnot, it's just gonna like divide the community even further than it needs to be because like sure there's a lot of players, but we all play different. We not everyone plays stick, not everyone plays pad, so like last thing we need is that last thing we need is a pad only tournament or a stick only tournament.
Yeah, that seems just like a terrible idea, to be honest.
Yeah, because like worst comes to worst, just have two extra stations at your tournament and make them those two stations are pad only, but please set it on default. If you play pad or you play stick, just use a default setting. Don't don't try to be creative with your pad setup or your stick setup because that will make things even longer to set up than it already is.
Yeah, the extreme versus games, or just like, have been a really difficult thing to set up in tournaments because of the sheer amount of supplies you need to even support like a single match.
Yeah, you need like four PS3 that need to be connected to the internet and all that stuff. So yeah, that's like really annoying.
The problem really stems from it being basically a home version of a game that's meant to be played in arcades. It's basically meant, you play the game at home in Japan, and then you go to the arcades, and then that's the kind of standard setup there, and that's where tournaments are held. So I guess it's just not something that comes up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and like it requires. Think of it like this: it requires twice the setup of what a normal game should be.
four times the setup actually.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
right because it's different screens for two people too. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, even for you need four monitors to even output a single match instead of just one match because in most fighting games it just takes place on the same screen.
hmm
So yeah, it's just
I, I gotta say, there was the tournament stream. I forget who was streaming. It was a couple weeks ago where they did have four setups going all at once with the four screens on the stream, and it was
Oh
really
yeah,
cool to watch.
yeah
yeah. That was IE Battleground, I think.
yeah, ID Battlegrounds. They were at Super Arcade. I was able to visit them right before they ran the tournament. Had to go to work unfortunately that night, so I couldn't stay around and participate. But I did see their setup at Super Arcade, and it was really complex but really awesome the way they presented that. And I'm glad that, I think that's gonna be the standard for presenting these, hopefully. But once again, that took a lot of supplies. That required, once again, four stations, four capture cards, to actually get it going, and switching between the cameras and the views, between because okay, the big flaw about this game is not only is there spectator mode, but if there was a spectator mode that tried to run all four screens at once, it would lag like hell. If the
Oh yes,
replay
it
if,
was.
if the replay channel in the in game is anything to go by, if you try to do the four view split screen in replays, it lags the system to all hell, or the match, and it's like running at like maybe 15 20 frames per second.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I think like only one of the games had 2v2 split screen, and that was like the Gundam, the GameCube version of Sega versus Gundam. No other game ever had the 2v2 split screen, so now you see why.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're basically having to try to put in what in arcades is a standalone unit that they use for observing matches.
yeah. So it's just technical limitations all around, which is I don't know if they can if it ever goes to PS4. I don't know if that'll be a barrier of entry anymore or not.
Well, I think that they'll be pushing the PS4 to its limits, and we'll probably need four PS4s.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
gosh, that's just like no one wants to think about that yet.
Well, thing is, like the Maxi Boost probably gonna be in 2 years. Maxi Boost is on PS3 so far, from what we've seen. I doubt that. Well, I hope it'll be on PS3 because they're still using the same system as Full Boost and Vanilla, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything.
So
I think they're still using the same arcade board, I believe.
yeah, so the arcade board is basically a PS3 and an arcade machine. So I'm a firm believer that Maxi Boost will be on PS3, and then it'll probably be another 2 years, so maybe a year and a half for the next one after that. So we have quite some time to stock up on PS4s.
Yeah, and plus, I think it'll benefit everyone all around if it was on PS3 because if it was on PS4, everyone would have to get a PlayStation Plus, subscription for their Japanese account to play
Oh,
online.
oh God.
Yep, harsh reality.
I hope they remove the online pass for that.
It'll
I
be
don't.
so dumb if they still have the online pass. I'm gonna be so mad if they have the online pass for um, Maxi Boost if it's on PS3 or PS4. They can always bring back online pass on PS4, of course.
I hope they don't, because I don't want to play two PS Plus.
Yeah, no, I don't think anyone does.
Yeah, not actually for full boost. What I used to do for the tournaments that I run, I had separate accounts just for the tournaments, right?
Mhm.
So now what I had to do is I had to buy online passes for those. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want to pay PS Plus for those
Yep.
accounts too.
Yep.
Fuck that. Oh God.
Ah, that's grim future.
Yeah, the game future.
Another thing. Oh yeah, because we didn't get to since we're already on online passes. So just a quick note for anyone interested in game sharing the game. We can confirm that you can game share full boost digitally. So all you have to do is after the person you're game sharing it to, all they have to do is download the game and purchase an online pass. So all they have to do is just put $10 down for an online pass, and they're free to play the game shared copy of Full Boost Online. So no
Yeah.
problems there.
Although the online pass cannot be bought on the store directly, you have to go through the game to buy it.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah, well, from my experience, you have to try to access the online in the game, and then it'll ask you if you have a code. If you don't have a code, it'll ask you to buy one online on the PS Store,
Okay.
and
All
it'll
right.
bring you directly to the kind of like the catalog, brings you directly to the item page.
Mhm.
It'll do the same thing, but for the online pass.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I know I've been seeing some topics on the Game Facts, people asking, where do I buy the online pass? It's like, well, you have to access it in game.
Well, when you access it in game, does it actually bring up like the PlayStation Store, or is it like the catalog where it just brings up like the page for it?
I had a page for it, kind of like the catalog.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's
Yeah,
convenient at least. Doesn't
yeah,
it's not like those uh into PS Store integrations where you click on it and then it brings you all the way to PlayStation Store, the laggy version of the PlayStation Store,
oh god.
and it's just it makes life very sad.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 5 did that, and that's the worst thing. I
Yeah.
think Blaze Blue Extend, CS
hmm
Extend did the same thing, and yeah.
Uh, okay, so just really briefly before we end off the episode, since we were on Maxi Boost, we're just going to do a very mini Maxi Boost discussion because the latest Loke test just happened. I don't know. I think it was either last weekend or 2 weekends ago, and they showed off the opening movie. And so, first of all, the latest Loke test of Maxi Boost, just to keep the people informed, that Red Frame Kai and Hyperion were added to the game. Um, from the supposed move list, I'll just go through this real fast. Red Frame Kai's move set, A is Beam Torch. It does have a charge, a version of the Beam Torch. B is Gerbera Straight and Tiger Pierce, which is its two katanas, its two swords. Um, AB is Tactical Arms 2L Arrow Form. I don't know anything about Red Frame Kai, so um, sorry. It's from Versus Astray. I never read Versus Astray. AC is Maga no Ikutachi. I guess that's some sort of pressure move, or I don't know, but that's how it's translated. BC is Tactical Arms 2L, Sword Form and Work Form. Whatever the hell that means. The EX Burst attack is the Tactical Arms 2L Delta Form. I'm sure you can find this out in some page on the internet about Red Frame Kai, because don't ask me. I'm just giving you the moveset. For Hyperion's moveset, we have wait, what was Hyperion from? I forgot the series already.
Axa string.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Its main, it's his some beam machine gun. Apparently its shield is deployed when shooting, so that could be really interesting and
Oh.
potentially really troublesome.
Well,
It's go.
Victory does the same in full boost.
Oh wait, when it shoots, it has its shield deployed.
Yeah, it's beam shield.
Huh? I don't know that. Interesting. Charge shot A, it's oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna butcher the pronunciation of this, so I really am. Charge shot A is Forfentarie Garabi, Forfentaire, I don't know.
Some weird ass name.
I don't know. The sub is the Forfentaire that knocks down, and then AC the Super Hyperion, which is really interesting. I guess it's a buff that gives it infinite ammo for like 20 seconds for both its main and sub. It's only used once per life, but yeah, it sounds really crazy.
Yeah, I think Cubile Mark II, the blue one, she has a mode with infinite funnels.
What? Really?
Yeah, like I saw that like in the load test video random, like wow, that's like the best thing ever.
Ah. Are you talking
Yeah.
about are you talking about Puru's purple Kubele?
Yeah, the purple Cubile.
Yeah.
She has a mode where she like anti-resonance, but to the extreme, and just like fires funnels everywhere.
Sheesh. And its BC is kind of like Stargazer's. It's called Armor Lumiere. It's a full spear shield, but its mobility stays the same, unlike Stargazer, which actually boosts mobility.
Hmm.
So that's just general moveset. I'm not gonna go into theory crafting, because it's just for the people who want to know more about Maxi Boost. Another thing about Maxi Boost, I think both of you have seen the opening movie of Maxi Boost. What do you guys think about the opening movie?
The song is the worst thing I ever listened to.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Although I have to agree that after watching it like in a lot of times, the song you eventually manage to phase it out, but this like it's still very bad.
Can we just have Linkin Park back?
There we go. Bring back Linkin Park.
No, not Linkin Park.
Look, you have to admit, like ever since the first Extreme Versus opening, it's only been getting worse. All right.
I actually like the full boost opening. I'm like the only person alive who likes it. So
I'm
And
so
you
sorry.
can't change it.
Yeah.
no, you can't. But I kind of like the video itself because I was speaking with Trivan the other day,
Uh-huh.
and like it shows more a 2v2 aspect, almost like the main scenes of the opening video are all 2v2, right?
Oh yeah,
At
yeah.
the beginning, you have like a full armor unicorn, like Z Gundam fighting Penelope and Resin Zulu. Then you have like the Wing Zero Epion fighting against the Age units. So it feels more like they're trying to show, yo, this is a 2v2 game. This is not 1v1. Like the full boost opening is always like there are maybe one or two scenes where it's 2v2. The rest is all like 1v1, or like the Extreme Versus opening, which is like basically openings from the series arcade, which is like always 1v1 or 2v1 or stuff like that. So I really like how they're trying to show this is like more 2v2 based just by the opening video, and the action is really great, except for the whole RX-78 and Extreme Gundam going through a tunnel.
Yeah.
That part was bad.
Also, the opening movie for Maxi Boost also teased not only Red Frame Kai before it was revealed, but the 007 sword version of
Yeah.
it.
hmm
So we'll see how
I
that goes.
I actually linked that to a friend of mine who's a big 00 fan. He said he's probably got to buy a cab or something. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
you do that, I'll be at your house every day, man.
I'll fly over there and test it out too.
All right.
And also just hot off the presses. I mean, this was I think it was rumored, and then like we actually got visual confirmation on Dustloop that the H3 is coming to Maxi Boost eventually. Like in the Age arcade CG opening, it does show the H3 and Kyo's voice can be heard in it supposedly. So H3 is coming. We don't know about Age FX, but Age FX is probably going to be in. I hope Darkhound is coming in as well for the Age 2.
So, how do you think the H3 will play? It's like I think it got different modes too, right?
Yeah, H3 is kind of a I don't know. Its normal mode is okay, but its wares are like kind of sad from the context of the show anyway.
Yeah.
Like its fortress mode, it's like a land mobility mode. It's kind of like its movement. I can imagine will be kind of like X Divider. It's not that great from what the shows seems. It has like two like shoulder cannons. I remember if I remember correctly, but I mean it's not amazing. And its orbital mode, which is like its high mobility mode in space, is even
Hmm.
like more sad because beware, Gundam Age spoilers. When it first launches in the Gundam orbital where it like actually gets Kyo kidnapped. So on its debut, it jobbed. Yeah.
I didn't remember that.
Uh,
I tried to forget age in general.
yeah, but like that's the only thing significant about orbital. Like that's how I remember. It's like, oh, it's that rare that got Kyo kidnapped and ruined the show. Great. So
I don't know. I remember when I first saw the Age bullet, the
double
H2
bullet.
bullet.
Yeah,
Yeah, the first thing I thought was, hey, this looks like a Gapland, and then it has wings of light. Like, oh shit! It's like,
I love double bullet. I'm
yeah.
so psyched for it. So I like H2
So,
a lot. H3 is kind of sad. H1 is alright.
well, H1 has is like it's Alex armor at the end or something, right?
The what?
The Alex armor, like has
Oh,
an armor
oh yeah,
at the
yeah.
end or something.
The H1 Granza.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
first time I saw it, like, oh, this is like the Alex in 0080, like has a
yeah. It kind of resembles
armor.
that, like the Trobam armor.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's about it for Maxi. I think Maxi Boost is launching in Japanese arcades. I want to say April. I think it's either late March or April.
I think so. Yeah.
So we'll probably get a lot more footage about that in the coming months,
Mm.
and we'll probably maybe I'll probably maybe do an episode just talking about what we've seen about it. But right now it's all about theory crafting, and I don't want to get into that. It'll take forever.
Yeah, because
So
there's so many units that are
yeah.
being added again, and all the rebalancing,
Oh my
and like the
gosh.
1.5K and
I
all
don't even know how
that.
you
So
rebalance a game with so many suits like this. Like, ugh, it must be a
like,
tough job.
yeah, well, that's why they're doing well. That's why it's once every 2 years, right?
Uh,
Like normally fighting games is once every year. These games like once every 2 or 2.5 years or some shit. So
yeah.
takes a while.
So that about wraps up this episode of the Fuwacast. Do you guys have any closing comments, Taco or Air?
Um, this play
I
Gundam.
can pimp my event.
Yeah, yeah. Talk about your event.
All right. So, for anyone listening, if you're not familiar with what I do, every Saturday from 9 p.m. to midnight Eastern, and soon to be Wednesdays once my work schedule clears up, I host a Gundam Extreme versus Full Boost Beginner Night. It's a lobby where you can just hop in if you're new to the game or new to some suits. You can jump in and play some shuffle matches. We have a Skype call that goes on during it, and we basically, shoot the breeze and just have fun playing Gundam. It's a very low pressure environment. No one expects anyone to be, really great. So if you're brand new to the game and are looking to get your feet wet with some online play, that's the place to be.
Yeah, and I think last time there was supposed to be a Team Stickbug tournament, and instead Mahoko joined the room and started talking about the game.
Yeah, so what happened with the Team Stickbug event was I was just getting ready to set up my beginner night lobby, and Mahoko suddenly tweets me. He's like, I need a lobby right now. And I was like, okay. So I invite him in, and then I pop on the stream to see what's going on. He's like, let's see if we can get more people in here. I'm like, oh, okay. I guess this is going to be beginner night. So our
Yeah,
beginner night lobby was on Team Stickbug, and we had a lot of fun there
That was
too.
amazing. Yeah, the just having your one of the beginner nights, just being exposed to that many people is great.
hmm
Full support of that.
yeah.
So once again, if you're listening, Mahoko, and anyone from Team Stickbug, thank you for hosting the beginner night there. Much appreciated.
And I'll be plugging my old event as well. Might as well.
Go for it.
Uh, in June, where I think it's June 14th, I believe. Let me check real quick. Yeah, June 14th, 2014. In Montreal, we're having Ultimate Montreal Air Dashers 2,
Sweet.
which is a air dashing tournament. We have like Blaze Blue, Guilty Gear, and a bunch of other games. And Gundam Extreme versus Full Boost will be there. So if you're in the if you're in the area, like Northeast or anywhere else from North America, feel free to drop by. Um, the last year's tournament was a blast. We had 8 teams, but it was still a blast. And hopefully this year we'll have more teams. And it's at the best venue. Like the venue we have in Montreal for our fighting game is really great. Serves food, alcohol, all kinds of stuff. 18 plus.
You have no
So
reason not to be there then.
yeah, no reason not to be there if you're in the area. So feel free to drop by. And on Tuesday nights, normally we host a full boost night there. So if you're in the area, drop on by.
Sweet. Thank you guys. And just as a send off, once again, SoCal Regional is going to be this weekend from February, what was it, 28th to March 2nd. I'm going to be there with my partner Cosmic Lullaby. We're going to try our best to get out of pools at the very least, but crossing fingers. There are a lot of strong teams. Like there'll probably be some potential major upsets. Like the teams that you thought were good, like they haven't established extreme versus record. Like I think there's gonna be a lot of silent killers in the pools there that like have been kind of on the down low and have been really experimenting with some team compositions and whatnot. So I'm kind of a little scared, but I think we'll manage. Hopefully.
Yeah.
Uh, um, Once again, you can follow me at Twitter at HDKirin. I'll be putting my Twitter and both your guys' Twitter up as well, so people can follow you on Twitter. And I also have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/hyperdimensionkirin, and you can watch me there. I usually stream Full Boost quite a bit there. I also stream various other video games because I like to mix it up once in a while. I do have a big backlog, so once I clear up time after SCR, I will definitely get back to Backlog Hell 2014. So until then, until the next Fuwacast, see you guys off. Take care.